Welcome to the All-American Esports 400 presented by Misfit Racing Leagues. We're here for night one of action tonight with the Legends, mini stocks, street stocks, and late model stocks, all of which will be held at the historic Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. There's over $2,200 on the line across both nights of our two-night show, and these drivers are going to be desperate to get it done. I'm Sky Shrek. I'm joined up in the booth tonight by Ryan Kuhn with Bradley Cooper, our producer. Ryan, tell us a little bit about Nashville Fairgrounds and why this track is so special.
Yeah, it's such a special racetrack. The All-American 400 goes back many, many years. And honestly, the weekend does as well. So tonight we're going to see a lot of beating and banging, tempers flaring, and great short track racing.
You know, we'll see that tonight. This is the big track, 0.59 miles in length, 18 degrees of banking in the turns, and 3 down the front straightaway. But for the first race of the night here in our Legends series, we will be racing on the mini oval, the quarter mile down in the infield. This is going to be in the iRacing Legends car, and it's going to be pretty interesting race here. 25 laps, hard time limit of 25 minutes. Ryan, tell us a little bit about this car.
Yeah, the Legend car is a tough little car. If you can drive one of these, you can drive about anything. So it's going to be a great race tonight. Tires don't really come in until about lap 10, 15. So it's going to be who can get their tires heated up the best early on. And I think we're going to see the most passes happen early.
You can see our schedule for tonight here, right there. We've got the James Elite Detailing Legends Series up first for 25 laps. Then we'll move into the mini stocks with the 918 Custom Designs mini stocks over there. We've got the SARA Street Stocks going third tonight for a 50-lap feature before we end the night off with the RKM Setup Shop Late Models. 100 laps to end the night. And then we'll be back tomorrow night for night 2 with the Super Late Model Series. 300-lap main event there for that one. As we get ready to go, qualifying is wrapping up here in just a second, and before too long, we'll get into the starting grid for your Legends race tonight. And you can see our starting lineup right here. On pole is going to be the Alex McCollum in the 1 car. Brian Gravel will go from second in the 22. From third, it's Kyle Terzak in the 015. Aaron Johnson fourth in the 78. The 18 of Larson Parker rolls off in P5 tonight with the 17 car of Tryson Pinion in 6th. James Lehman goes from 7th in the 5. Deegan Smith from 8th in the 115. Jacob Quill starts 9th in the 177 with Matt Urban 10th in the 48. And then it's Cole Williams in the 46, 11th with Alex Allenar in the 57 in 12th. Colt Martin goes in from 13th in the 4 car, Matthew Knott 14th, Chris Shepard, Michael Wiseman on row 8, and then rounding out your top 20 back from there, it's Steele Langford, Braxton DeWeese, Ethan Guptill, and Ty Leclerc. Trey Craig, Jake Grout, Derek Fulton, Travis Owens, and Thomas Dean, the rest of your top 25. We're taking 28 cars to the main event tonight. It'll be Chris Reinold, Matt Mingo, and Donald Castillo rounding out your field as we get ready to go. Ryan, what are you looking for as a key to this race?
Track position. That's key. You're starting up front. You're in a good spot. You're in the middle of the pack. You're in the hornet's nest. Simple as that. If you're at the back, you're kind of screwed. But it's going to be chaos. Hopefully we get some green flag laps in here tonight. A lot of cars on a little racetrack. It's going to be fun.
And just worth noting, we do have an invert of 3 for this race. So Kyle Terzak will move up to the pole. Brian Gravel will stay where he is. And Alex McCollum will drop back to 3rd with the random roll here tonight. And this is going to be a really, really interesting one in these Legends cars. It's our first race of the night for the JED Legends, and gotta say, we're pretty excited here. Is there any drivers you're watching who might be able to win this race?
I mean, obviously, you got to look at Alex McCollum. He's one of the best here. But another one is Kyle Terzak. He's been so fast about everything he's driven. So expect these two to make it up a lot.
We'll see these drivers get ready to go here in just a second, making some pace laps in these cars as we get ready to get going here on the mini oval. You can see just how short this track is. seen a couple cars maybe starting from the pits. Alex Hallinar, most notably of those cars, is going to go from the pit lane here tonight. And I believe the pace truck is going to pull off this time. Let's see. On the front row, it's going to be Kyle Turzak. It's going to be Brian Gravel. The pit road will pull in. The pace car will pull in. It'll be Gravel and Turzak, War Green, and the Legends at Nashville Fairgrounds. The JED Legends make it through the first couple corners pretty cleanly here. McCollum made a look to the inside there, wasn't able to convert. Kyle Turzak stays up front, and they'll be side by side across the line, but Turzak leads lap 1 over Brian Gravel. Caution flies further back. Colton Martin is around in turn 3. I think we've got 2 separate accidents. Steele Langford and Trey Craig are also both around as well.
Definitely some chaos in the opening lap here.
Yes, it is, and we will look to see who caused that Corey Bodie Wraps caution. We'll take a look at our 918 Custom Designs instant replay to see where this all sprung up from. You're watching the 14 car right there. We'll see where Ethan Guptill got involved in this. Oh, this starts way up the field. So you've got the 4 car around right there. That's Colt Martin. 33 is around, and then it kind of spirals back from there, and you see quite a few cars spinning out. That was Steele Langford, the other car around.
Yeah, just looks simply like a stack up. Yeah, entry to turn 3. Tight corner.
Michael Wiseman, he's claimed the caution for that second accident, so we're going to try to do some quick cautions here. Caution laps do count in these heat races, so we're going to go back green pretty quickly here. Going to be 1 to go at the line this time for your Legend cars here in the JED Legends race. They'll go back green on lap 6 out of 25 as we get ready to go for Nashville Fairgrounds. And these cars are going to be hoping for a little bit of a cleaner start. You said track position might be important here, and we've seen that early as quick caution kind of prevented anyone from getting any moves done. Pace car's down. It's the same front row. Turzak gets the jump. We're back green here at Nashville Fairgrounds. 15 gets the advantage, and this time he's well clear. Gravel back to thirds. McCollum jumps up on the inside lane. Larson Parker now sits in P4. He's going to try to get a move mounted on Brian Gravel. Car around Kyle Turzak in front of the field. No caution. We're going to stay green now. There's the caution. And Kyle Turzak. Oh, we got another car around in front of the field here. This is the 12 car of Matt Mingo backwards in turn 1. Looks like he just locked that thing up. Maybe a little contact. We will get the replay on that, and we will find out. So we'll get the 918 Custom Designs replay here, and we will see what happened. As well, there's Turzak around first here. I don't think that was what initially brought out the JED Legends caution, because he was kind of out of the way. And yeah, there he goes. 12 Matt Mingo around in front of the field. Turzak got involved as well in these JED Legends.
I believe there was contact between Alex McCollum and Turzak. I think Turzak tried to cover the bottom, and Alex was just there.
Wouldn't be surprised with how tight these cars have been racing around here. And then, yeah, you see the 71 just locks it up into the corner. And that's what turns Matt Mingo. And I think that was what brought out the Corey Bodie Wraps caution here tonight. So we'll see if somebody claims this. Yep, we are going to have the 1 car to the tail of the field is what I'm being told from race control. That was Alex McCollum with the contact to Kyle Turzak there, like you said. And he will go to the very, very back of the field here. And that is going to put him out of contention for any sort of win tonight in this Legends race, as we are back under caution. We're going to go back green here pretty soon. We will see how this shakes out on the restart, but we've got a new look front row with Turzak around with McCollum at the back. It's now Larson Parker, and it's Brian Gravel, 1 and 2. Aaron Johnson, 3rd. James Lehman, 4th. As we get ready to go, the pace truck will pull in. It's Gravel, it's Parker. We're back green in the All-American 400 Legends race. And we are back under caution for a wreck. I don't even know if we made it to the start-finish line. Alex McCollum is around. This is contact with Alex Alinar. Oh, there was also a wreck in front of him. Matt Mingo went around as well. So it's basically the same cars who were involved in that last accident.
And a lot of chaos. Man.
Yeah, we've seen quite a bit of that chaos here early on in this race, and we will get another replay on the 918 Custom Designs replay on the Corey Bodie Wraps caution. And there you see those cars around. That's the 12 car around Matt Mingo. The one of McCollum, oh, he's around again there off the nose of Hallinar after the yellow came out. He just kind of came down when Hallinar was coming up, coming to the green flag, and that's what sent both of those cars around. We will get the in-car here, courtesy of 17 Media, and that was Matt Mingo. He looped it all on his own. The one had a little bit of help there from the 57 to bring that caution out. Yellows early in track position is ultimately what is keeping these cars up front alive, because they have not had to do much racing with the amount of yellows that we have seen here tonight. And the one of Alex McCollum is going to be black flagged again, so I think he will be deemed at fault for that incident and sent to the rear as we get ready to get back rolling. Same group on the front row here. It's Brian Gravel. Larson Parker's gone back a spot. He'll be replaced by Aaron Johnson. Green flag flies once again in the JED Legends Series. Oh, almost a car into the inside wall there. That's always the danger at this mini oval. Racing going on throughout the field. We're clean through 1 and 2. Aaron Johnson trying to steal the lead away. Oh, Colton Martin around. Big hit there for another car. We're still green. Now we're under caution. It's Trey Craig who got heavily involved. And someone just towed it to the pits. That is Alex McCollum, who got involved in that accident late after contact with Hallinar, and I think he has just decided to end his race. Colt Martin will claim that yellow. We will try and get a replay on this here shortly so we can see exactly what was the cause of caution. Going to get an EOL for the 4 car of Colt Martin as he claimed this incident. Yep, he just spun it and then collected that 15 car. So we are 18 laps into this one, and we are immediately going to go back green here. Pace car is going to pull in. Brian Gravel back on the front row with Aaron Johnson, and we'll see who can grab the lead early. The 22 is going to have the advantage down on the bottom. Contact with the 78, boots him up and out of line. That car is loosing into the outside wall. He'll free fall down to 6th, and we're wrecking again at the back. Man, we are yet to get a green flag lap in. How you doing, Ryan? How you feeling?
Yeah, just a lot of chaos, a lot of impatience. You know, these guys it's a really short race. Caution laps count. If you're not leading right now, I don't feel comfortable.
Yeah, especially with how all of these have kind of gone on in the mid-pack. This was just a moment for Michael Wiseman. 74 car got loose out of the corner, tagged Matt Urban, and sent both of those cars around. I don't think anybody else was involved. Matt Urban's going to get away without too much damage. He should be fine, but Wiseman's going to get an EOL penalty, and he will have to roll this restart from the rear. We are going to already get ready to get back going here. Not this time. The lights on the pace car are still on, but in just a second, we will get back under green this next time around. So it'll be 4 to go at the line, and we're going to need to check on if we have overtimes here. I do not believe we do, but we will see if any come out when we are done with this, as it's now going to be on the front row, a whole new group of drivers. It's Brian Gravel who's held that inside the whole way through, but after Aaron Johnson got jolted out of line, got sent back through the field, Trayson Pinion in the 17 is going to be able to go from P2. He's dodged the chaos, gone from 6 to 2 so far this night. Can he go from 6 to 1? We're back green with 3 to go in the JED Legends race. Brian Gravel has the bottom, and he is off like a shot trying to get the lead. The 5 of Trayson Pinion is right behind him. And we'll see what these 2 cars can do. Oh, we're wrecking further back. That is the 18 car around, and it's a huge stack up down in turn 3. We are going to go to green-white checkered 1 out of 3 as we've got about 6 cars piled up, bringing out the Corey Bodie Wraps caution here. And we will figure out what the start of that was, but it came from pretty far up the field. even if you're at the front of the field, you're not safe there. That was Larson Parker tagging the 5. That was a massive hit for Aaron Johnson on the outside, and this is a tight track, and it got stacked up for everybody. Larson Parker calls a caution. I'll get an EOL here.
Looks like Larson was just trying to get in line and just misjudged it big time.
You can see how everyone gets stacked up behind him there. It looks like Terzak got involved pretty heavily in that one. Larson Parker got away without, I'd say, too much damage there, but James Lehman's backwards. Matthew Nod is sideways. Looks like Steele Langford maybe got some hits in there as well. 14 of Ethan Guptill spun by Castillo. It's an extracurricular. Not been a great clean race here so far in the JED Legends, and we will have our first of 3 potential overtime finishes tonight as we try to get this race done under green. It'll be green, white, and checkered. If the caution comes out on the first lap, we'll do it again. If not, then we will race back to the checkered flag. It'll be 1 to go this time, and it's the same front row as last time. Brian Gravel, after those incidents for Terzak and McCollum, got the lead, and he has not relinquished it. He's up there at the front of the field. Trayson Pinion fought his way through the chaos to get up to second. Now look back here a little bit. Jacob Quill has gone from 9 to 3. Ty Leclerc, in a race where we've had almost no moves done because of the amount of cautions, has still managed to go 20th to 5th. What can he do on the last restart? We're back green for Brian Gravel and Trayson Pinion here from Nashville Fairgrounds, and Pinion is going to immediately get to the inside and try to put a bumper to that 22. Terzak is around. There's a lot of smoke on the front straightaway. We are still green with the car flipped, and now the caution will fly. That was Aaron Johnson up and over. And man, Terzak, he kind of rejoined directly into Aaron Johnson there, and that was what sent that car over. Terzak, I think, just sent it in a little deep to the corner. Tag Matt Urban spun himself out, and then, yeah, kind of just throttled into Aaron Johnson there. Not an ideal scenario at all. And then we've got more wrecking further up. Alex Hallinar spun from 13th after contact with Trey Craig, who just kind of got wide. 918 Custom Designs replay here. Oh, we might need to get a replay of what happened in that second accident, because Donald Castillo had an ugly hit to the back straightaway as part of that Corey Bodie wraps caution. We'll go on board here with Donald Castillo. We'll see what caused this. It's going to be Hallinar and then Trey Craig, and then you see Castillo just get hooked and have a nasty hit to that outside wall. Big damage for him, big damage for quite a few cars down there spinning out. And we are going to go to green, white, checker number 2. It is an EOL penalty for Kyle Terzak as cause of caution. Lights on the pace car are still on. We'll do 1 more lap, getting ready to go. Ryan, what are we thinking here is going to be the key? Just survive, really?
Survive. We're not done. Still 2 more to go. It's going to get wild and crazy, even though it's already been.
Yeah, I think some of these drivers up front here, drivers like Trayson Pinion, are really just hoping that we make it back to the white flag so they can try to race this out for a lap under green. I don't think anybody wants to see this JED Legends race end in a situation where we don't get a green flag lap in because it's just cautions after cautions. We'll see if we can make a lap green as the pace truck pulls in. It's Brian Gravel. It is Trayson Pinion, and we're back green once again. Pinion not able to pull down to the inside there because Jacob Quill in the 177 is on it. He's on the bumper of Brian Gravel. Quill and we're wrecking at the back here. We are going to stay green. We're going to stay green, and we are going to make it back to the white flag green. Brian Gravel has the lead. Jacob Quill second. On the inside line down there, trying to make some moves, is Tyler Clare and Deegan Smith. But right now, Brian Gravel holds it as we make our way through 3 and 4. There's smoke everywhere. They're wrecking everywhere. But Brian Gravel is going to win the JED Legends race. And he will get it done. Took the JED white flag, took the JED Legends win as well here tonight. And he will go to Grout Motorsports victory lane. We'll get him up in the booth here in just a second for an interview.
It's gotta be the craziest race I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was one of the races that we've ran here in Misfit Racing League. That is to say the least. He will end up in Grout Motorsports victory lane, and that car will burn it down here tonight. We will get him pulled up into the booth here in just a second. Brian Gravel, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good. You won the first race of the night here in the JED Legends Series. How'd you get it done?
I just stay patient. I knew the first start was going to be rough. I was starting outside. You don't want the outside here. And McCollum and Kurzak got together, and that kind of gave me an opportunity to get up front. And I just knew I had to protect staying first because that's where I wanted to be. And just caution after caution, I was able to protect the bottom each time and able to stay out front.
Yeah, is it a little more difficult when you get all those cautions there, or did that actually help you because you didn't get to face too much of a challenge for most of this race?
It honestly made it a lot harder because the restarts is where everybody will get you. I knew if I could get into one and get clear, it was fine, but it was leading up to the point of getting into one and getting clear. So I feel like it made it a lot harder because you were so worried about not getting ran over or not getting loose and getting to the guy on your outside or just not getting drove through getting into turn one.
All right, anyone you have to thank tonight?
I'd like to thank Caudle Chassis, Oliver Motorsports, Champs Auto Care, the WD Broadcasting Network, and Levi Photography.
All right, congrats on the win in the JED Legends race tonight, Brian Gravel.
Alrighty, thank you.
And we are going to get ready here in just a second to get rolling with practice for your second race on the night as we get into the mini stock series, which is going to be the next one here. These drivers are going to switch sessions in just a second, and as they do that, we will get ready for the 918 Custom Designs mini stock series. Ryan, how you feeling about that one? Do you think that one will be a little cleaner?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's a little easier to drive the mini stock than a legend car, but I think these guys are just driving over their heads right now, and hopefully they have a good driver's meeting and tell them just to clean it up a little bit or something. But man, that was just chaos. I'm hoping the night gets better.
I think we're all kind of hoping that we get some clean racing here in the 918 Custom Designs mini stocks as well, along with the SARA template street stocks later tonight in the RKM Setup Shop. Late models for 100 laps to close out the night in night one of the All-American Esports 400. We're getting ready to go in just a second for race 2 of the night. We are going to send it to a quick commercial break while we move into race 2, and we will have that race when we come back.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
We are back here for night one of the All-American Esports 400, and we are getting ready to go here. Drivers are in practice right now for the 918 Custom Designs Mini Stocks race. It'll be the same format as your JED Legends, 25 laps around the mini track, the quarter mile here in the infield of Nashville Fairgrounds. Not a lot of banking on this place, and as we saw in the Legends race, quite prone to accidents. Are we looking to see maybe a little bit better racing here, Ryan?
I hope so. I really hope so. The mini stocks are, bigger, beefier car, and it takes a lot more to spin them out. So hopefully it's a little bit cleaner. hopefully we get through this race, get to the street stock race and late model race. I think those 2 races are gonna be really good.
Yeah, it's a good point what you said there. These cars are a little bit tougher. They can take hits and keep going, which I think is probably going to help this race tonight. Once again, I'm Sky Shrek. I'm joined up in the booth by Ryan Kuhn, and we've got Bradley Cooper producing for us here tonight. These drivers are going to work their way through practice for about another minute, and then once we hit 7:40 Eastern, 6:40 Central, we will get going for 5 minutes of qualifying to decide your starting order for the mini stacks here tonight. Is driving this car at such a short track more of a challenge, Ryan?
Yeah, it's definitely difficult. You know, going to a track like this with, especially on cold tires on a smaller track, it's definitely harder to make grip as it would be on a higher bank track with a lot more speed. I think these guys are going to be slipping and sliding a little bit for the first couple laps until they get some heat in them, and hopefully everybody keeps it straight.
And we have our first points update of the night. It's just going to be the result order of our Legends race. So Brian Gravel is going to be the one who brings it home first in that race. He'll get the most points. And then your top 10 in that race. Back from there, we got Jacob Quill, Deegan Smith, Ty Leclerc, Tryson Pinion, Ethan Guptill, Steele Langford, Braxton DeWeese, Derek Fulton, and Matt Mingo. I didn't know Braxton DeWeese was out here tonight. I've called a race where he is I've called a series where he is one of the dominant drivers. I typically see him as more of a big plate track intermediate style guy, but he's getting it done at the short tracks here tonight. We are getting ready to go. We'll look at some of the practice times right now. Brian Gravel, who obviously dominating factor in that first race, won 25 laps. Fastest time in practice, and then Alex McCollum second, Larson Parker, who's been up front for so much of this, third in practice. Practice is going to come to an end now, and we will get into 5 minutes of qualifying for the 918 Custom Designs mini stocks here tonight, and we will see who finds their way up to the front of the field of our 28 car race in these mini stocks. Going for qualifying, Larson Parker in the 18 is going to be the first one off the jump. This is a car that knows how to contend up in this series. He was up towards the front for much of the race, but he wasn't able to finish well. Only brought it home 19th in the JED Legends. He's going to look to have a much better time here. Ringing that inside line behind the wheel of that 18 mini stock, and he's going to go for it. Larson Parker expects to be starting up in the top 5. And with how many cautions we saw in that first Legends race, you know track position is going to be really important here tonight. So Larson Parker wants to make sure he can grab it. Fastest time so far. We'll see if he's any quicker coming around turn 4. No, wow, that was remarkably consistent from Larson Parker. A 15:03.6 on lap 1, a 15:03.7 on lap 2 for the driver of your 18 car, but he's now going to get jumped by a couple cars. Good result for Ethan Guptill and Trey Craig here in qualifying. 2 drivers who are looking to make up a little bit after race 1. Ethan Guptill had a good 6th place finish. Trey Craig was not as lucky, 20th in the Legends race, so he will look to get a little bit higher up the field. And McCollum is going to jump all of them, so he will go to provisional pole right now over Brian Gravel sitting in 2nd. Trey Craig, Ethan Guptill, Tryson Pinion. That is Alex Hallinar. He is on the wrong racetrack. He is on the main oval. I was about to say I wonder if he's trying to build up speed, but he's still doing it, so I think he's just having a good time out here.
Having a great time.
He's loving life right now.
He's getting ready for Sunday.
Oh yeah, he's practicing. 300 laps in the big oval in the super late models. These cars, well, he's gonna wreck it, so hopefully he won't do that in the super late models on Sunday, because that would likely be not ideal for Alex Hallinar, as he is going to have to just tow it back to the pits. He said his time already. He is 15th on the board provisionally. He's good enough to make the race. Looking down at the cut line right now, Kyle Turzak yet to set a lap. Braxton DeWeese, James Lehman, Thomas Dean, Deegan Smith all yet to set a lap as well. And DeWeese will jump himself up into the field. So will Kyle Turzak. In fact, Kyle Turzak will jump up to 2nd on the field with a 14.932, and he will be perfectly happy with that. DeWeese, he's not going to do great, but he will do enough to get him in the field there in 24th. So Chris Reinold is the last car in. Will James Lehman jump him here? Yes, James Lehman with a great effort jumps himself up into the top 5. And that will knock Chris Reinold out of our mini stock race tonight after a bad qualifying effort from him. 2 drivers yet to qualify are Deegan Smith and Thomas Dean, and I think they are going to be waiting to the very last second. Your bubble drivers are Brandon Atkinson and Matt Mingo at the moment, so they will be the 2 cars that could be moved out if either of those drivers get a good effort here. James Lehman with a better second lap will actually jump himself all the way up to P3 right now, so pretty good run for him. We're going to have a 5-car invert here for tonight. We're rolling a die from 1 to 6, and that is going to be our invert for tonight. And that will be 5. So as it stands right now, that'll put Tryson Pinion on the pole, and it'll put Alex McCollum back to P5.
Tryson's having a good night so far.
Yeah, he is. He was running pretty well so far in the JED Legends race. Took 5th home in that one. He will look to do a little better in the 918 Custom Designs and maybe make himself up onto the podium or even, if he can hold it, the front row. We got some cars really testing this outer racetrack here. James Lehman's going to have a little bit of fun. Lap around there as well. I do not believe at the moment that Deegan Smith or Thomas Dean are going to get laps in at the minute for this race. So they might not be able to race in the second one, in which case Chris Reinold would be the only cut. Brandon Atkinson and Matt Mingo will be the drivers in. Deegan Smith 3rd in the last race, so him not being in this one is going to really shake things up. And yeah, Thomas Dean is disconnected. Deegan Smith has disconnected, so they will not be in this race tonight as we watch Lehman qualified 3rd for this race in that 17 media car, and he is just having a little bit of fun up on the big track. We are getting ready to go here for our second race in the 918 Legends Series here tonight of the All-American Esports 400. In just a second, we'll have that starting grid up for you as we get ready to go. All right, so we're going to roll off from the back of the grid here. Brandon Atkinson in the 150 goes from last in 28th. Matt Mingo in the 12 starts 27th. And then Chris Shepard in the 19. He's going to go from 19th as we doing a little work on the ticker here. Braxton Deweese goes from 25th in the 8th. Travis Owens in the 02. 24th, Colton Martin in the 4. 23rd. It's going to be Donald Castillo, Aaron Johnson, and Matthew Knott up to 20th from there. All right, we're going to go from the top now. We'll take you back down. Alex McCollum, Kyle Turzak, 1st and 2nd with the invert. They'll go from 5th and 4th. James Lehman, Brian Gravel, Tryson Pinion. The rest of your top 5, those will be the cars that get inverted. Matt Urban, 6th. Trey Craig, 7th. Ethan Guptill in 8th in that 14 car. And then back rounding out the top 10, you've got Larson Parker in the 18, and you've got Cole Williams in the 46. Steele Langford is going to go from 11th in the 133. Kyle Dumas, 12th in the 15. Jake Rout, 13th in the 49. Ty Leclerc, 14th. Derek Fulton, Jacob Quill, Alex Allenar, Michael Wiseman, Aaron Harden, and then as we saw earlier, Matthew Knott, Aaron Johnson, Donald Castillo, Colt Martin, Travis Owens, Braxton Deweese, Chris Shepard, Matt Mingo, and Brandon Atkinson. Your field tonight. We'll watch that roll by on the bottom of the screen as we get ready to go in our 918 Designs mini stock race. See if pace car pulls in. No, he'll stay out. So we'll do one more lap under caution before we get ready to go. Green Ryan, what is your key to this race?
Man, about the same as the last one. Track position, you're up front, you're in a good spot until you get spun out. A lot of bumper contact going to happen this one. Middle of the pack, Hornet's Nest, back of the pack. Better hope you get through the wrecks.
These drivers are definitely gonna want to get through some of the wrecks after what we saw in race 1. Pace truck off. It's Tryson Pinion. It's Brian Gravel. We're back green. Let's see if Brian Gravel can defend his crown. As we start the 918 Designs Legends race, Brian Gravel working on the outside here, near contact between these two cars. Tyson Pinion is going to prevail on the bottom, though. He takes the lead. Gravel will drop down behind him. P2 contact with a 5 car, and Tyson Pinion is wrecked into the inside wall off the nose of the 22. Caution flies. Wow, drama there for the lead of the race on lap 1. As Brian Gravel was pushing that 5 car around and might have just pushed him a little too far into that inside wall. And that'll bring out the Corey Bodie wraps caution. We'll get a 918 Custom Designs replay here in just a second. We'll see what ended up causing this incident. I mean, we saw it live. Brian Gravel just shoved that 5 car into the corner and shoved him a little bit too much, and Pinion ended up wrecked. That triggered a pretty big accident. Matt Urban ended up around. Kyle Turzak ended up around. You saw so many cars spin it out there, and really a bit of a scrapyard there after that one, as we're having some issues with the pace car order right now that are going to have to get sorted out before we can go back green. .22 car Brian Gravel has claimed the cause of caution, and your race winner in the JED Legends will likely not be your race leader in the 918 Custom Designs mini stock, as he is going to go to the very, very rear of the field, and he will have to drive all the way back up. So with your front 2 out of the race early, it's a new look here on the front row with Alex McCollum and with James Lehman. And I do not believe caution laps are going to be counting in this race as we come across the line to take what would be lap 3 if caution laps were counting, but they are not, so it is lap 2. So we are likely going to use all of our 25-minute timer tonight at this rate. Ryan, how does that mix things up?
Yeah, definitely mix things up. Kind of a shock. I'm surprised we're not counting cautions, but hopefully we make it before the timer runs out.
That 25-minute timer is going to loom over us all night long. We'll keep you updated if we get close. James Lehman goes from the front row here as he gets into the 17 media restart zone, and we're back green here. James Lehman gets the clear advantage out in front of McCollum, who's on the inside. Whoa, here comes Larson Parker. Here comes that car on the inside of Trey Craig. Craig is trying to make it work as we're 3 wide down the front straightaway. The 1 of Alex McCollum is going to hold the lead, but Trey Craig through the grass tried to get that move done. Wasn't able to do it. He still sits there in P2 as he is working on the inside of James Lehman, being pushed by the 18 of Parker. Great racing under green here. Larson Parker doors the 5, trying to get himself a little bit of space to squeeze through. And it looks like he'll do it. We're clear to P3 as James Lehman is dropping back through the field in a hurry. It's now the 33 of Steele Langford to the inside of this battle. Looking for P4 at the moment. And the 5 goes a little wide, so he'll get that pretty easily. Oh, contact with him and Jake Grout. 2 cars keep it off each other, and now Lehman will finally get clear down to the bottom, and he will be the driver who tries to make the move. We're looking side by side for a second there for P2. Larson Parker is all over the bumper. And Trey Craig, he gets him loose. He gets him out of the way. Larson Parker the inside. And yep, you're right. Caution's out of the back. We got some big wrecking. Brandon Atkinson involved. Matt Mingo. Aaron Johnson. Man, it's been a bad night early for Aaron Johnson, one of the drivers who was a bit of a favorite coming into this. Corey Bodie wraps caution. We're going to look at the 918 Custom Designs replay. And it's going to be Donald Castillo around off the nose of Aaron Harden. He got a little loose into the corner, did the 37. Aaron Harden arrived on the scene late, and then you see everybody else get piled in the 22 car and Gravel, the 150. Tyson Pinion got caught up in that as well on his way back through the field. 5 of 6 cars taking some pretty serious damage. That's the start of the incident where you see that 37 car tag the car in front of him and then get turned around and bring out the yellow flag here tonight. We are going to deem that a racing deal. So no one will go to the back of the field, and we will keep it going here at the 918 Custom Designs Mini Stocks race.
I'll tell you who's had a rough night is Kyle Turzak. Man, I think he's been in about every single caution tonight.
Yeah, he has been in a couple. We've seen Aaron Johnson in quite a few as well, and Aaron Johnson hasn't caused any of them. He has just gotten horrifically unlucky time after time, bringing out some of these Corey Bodie wraps cautions. So we will get ready to get going here As pace car lights will come out this time, it'll be Alex McCollum and Trey Craig on the front row. That 155 of Trey Craig is aggressive. We saw him make that 3-wide move to the grass to try to get a play going for the lead. Ultimately didn't work for him, but he is on it, and we are going to extend the caution another lap here. So on lap 8, is there any drivers that you're looking at, Ryan, who have a good chance of winning this race who maybe aren't up on the front row?
Yeah, there's definitely a few. Steele Langford in 4th, Larson Parker in 3rd. I mean, honestly, with how much contact we've seen tonight, it's going to be anybody's game.
Yeah, it really is a bit of a race of survival here so far tonight, especially in this mini stock series, as we have, who is that? Matt Mingo is going to go around. I think he's going to get a wave around. He will get a wave around. And lights on the pace car are going to stay on, so I think we're going to do an extra lap to accommodate that Matt Mingo wave around, and we will get back green with the lights on the pace car coming off this time around. There they go. So we will go back green on lap 8, as we are a decent amount of our scheduled 25 minutes through this session here tonight. I'm sure these drivers will want to finish this race off before we run any risk of hitting that time limit. Alex McCollum on pole, Trey Craig second. Back from there, Larson Parker, Steele Langford, and James Lehman as we're back green in the 17 media restart zone. Alex McCollum gets a great jump. Trey Craig is second, getting shoved by Larson Parker in the caution. Sponsored by Corey Bodie Wraps, flies once again for the 0-2 of Travis Owens, backwards on the front straightaway. So we're not going to get a lap in there before the caution flies for that 0-2 mini stock. And we will get a replay here on your 918 Custom Designs replay. The 0-2 of Travis Owens. Maybe had some contact, maybe a little bit of help here. Let's see. Yep, contact with the door of Alex Hallinar sends that 0-2 car around. And Alex Hallinar will eat the caution, and he will go to the back of the field with the EOL penalty there for that one. We see Alex McCollum and Trey Craig continuing on that front row. As we are going to have a pretty similar look here. I mean, we didn't really get too far, only about a corner there before the caution came out, so a lot of cars are going to be in the same position. We'll do a bit of a field rundown here. It's going to be Alex McCollum up front, Trey Craig in P2. Langford, Larson Parker, Jake Grout, the remainder of your top 5, with James Lehman 6th, Jacob Quill 7th, Ty Leclerc 8th, Cole Williams 9th, and Derek Fulton, last car in your top 10. Back from there, it's Kyle Dumas, Colt Martin, Tryson Pinion trying to drive his way back up through the field. Michael Wiseman. And then we got a couple cars here all gathered up. 15th will be Matt Urban. 16th, Braxton Deweese, Matthew Knott, Chris Shepard is your top 18 at the moment. As the lights on the pace car are off, and we will get back green, getting ready to take lap 9 as we hit the 17 media restart zone. And we are back underway. Trey Craig gets a good jump up there on the top, but the one of McCollum is able to even it up as soon as we get into turn 1. Here comes the 33 of Steele Langford, using a little bit of that grass there to try to get his way through. He makes contact with the 1. Parker's into him. It's a logjam, dominoes everybody into the back of everybody, but nobody goes around, and Steele Langford holds that P2 pretty easily. We're banging on each other right behind him, and that's going to send Trey Craig way out of line, and around goes James Lehman. He is into the tire, guarding the light pole down there, and he is going to go all the way to dead last, and now we're wrecking again up front. Michael Wiseman is around. Oh, big hit for a couple cars. That'll be your Corey Bodie Wraps caution. This is the big one. Derek Fulton got the worst hit in the 7 car out of all of this. He pretty much went head first into Ethan Guptill, and both cars taking some pretty major damage. You see the 5 go around there, big slam into that tire barrier, and then as we're racing behind him, you're going to see some cars get loose out of the corner. The 7 gets tagged by the 74, and yeah, he gets hit by Guptill. Guptill hits the 150, and that collects basically everybody here. That 6 or 7 cars taking pretty heavy damage as we are halfway through our race here tonight. halfway through on laps at least, we will see what the timer comes down to, and that is going to be ruled a racing deal by the stewards. And we will keep this thing green. We're about halfway through our 25-minute time limit as well, so we're right even between the time limit and the race laps here. A little bit slower on the cautions are the admins this time, seeing as we're not ticking laps off, so they were able to take a little bit of longer cautions to accommodate some wave rounds and some pit stops here. But Alex McCollum will still be your leader over Steele Langford, Larson Parker, Jake Grout up in 4th, Jacob Quill back in 5th. Trey Craig dropped all the way back to 6th in the logjam that ultimately led to James Lehman going around. What are you thinking, Ryan? How are we feeling? What's the vibe check?
Feeling good. Seems to be a little bit better than the last one, but you know, we're still only halfway, almost halfway through the time limit. Hopefully, these boys can get it together a little bit and finish this one clean.
Yeah, we're all looking for a clean finish to this race. I think especially the drivers up front. There's been some really good racing up there when we've had those extended green flag runs. The issue is we just haven't had extended green flag runs very often. Pace car peels in. We're back green for Alex McCollum and Steele Langford out of the 17 media restart zone. And on the inside, you're immediately seeing the nose-to-tail banging that we've seen on the inside so much. Parker into the rear of Steele Langford as we got the in-car camera way deep in the field here on Braxton Deweese in the 8 cars.
Oh, we're going to have a
tries to make
crash in
his
the
way
back.
through some of the carnage. Yes, we are, Ryan. Oh, Alex Hallinar just took a big hit to the wall. Also involved, Derek Fulton and Matt Mingo are around.
Looked like a 3-wide squeeze play on the front straightaway.
That is exactly what happened. Have to bring out the Corey Bodie Wraps caution, and we'll see that on the 918 Custom Designs replay here in the 918 mini stocks. You got the 7 all the way up on the wall. That's Derek Fulton, and he is going to get squeezed in there by Hallinar and Mingo. And all 3 of those cars are going to get sent around. Oh, big hit from behind as well. That was a 77 car of Aaron Harden with some extracurricular.
Yeah, it's just so tough on a little track like this.
Yeah, it's been tough up here tonight, but Alex McCollum, who is up in that lead position, he did not have the race he wanted in the JED Legends. He was having a good start for a while there, and then because of getting involved in an accident, he went to the back. Did not have a good finish at all. This is his chance to kind of rebound after finishing dead last in race 1 and get some points to get himself back up towards the front of the standings here on night 1. Lights on the pace car still on, so we're going to go one more time here as the timer continues to wind down in the 918 mini stock series. Lights on the pace car are off, and the drivers are going to get set to go in the 17 media restart zone here pretty shortly. Alex McCollum is up front. Steele Langford P2. Back from there, it's Larson Parker. It's Jacob Quill, Jake Grout, Cole Williams, Trey Craig, Tyler Clare, Kyle Dumas, Colt Martin, your top 10. So we are halfway through this race, and we're looking for some green flag running. McCollum gets the jump. We're back green at Nashville Fairgrounds. McCollum has the inside lane, and Larson Parker is pushing, trying to get that spot. Oh, a little bit of contact with the 77 of Jacob Quill. Everyone keeps it straight, but Quill loses spots, and we're not going to keep it straight because Jake Grout is going to get sideways, and the caution is going to fly for a separate incident, I believe, at the back of the field. Not seeing anybody around. We'll see where this caution might have come from. I don't think it was for Jake Grout sideways. It didn't seem like he was sideways enough to bring out a yellow, but it was sure at the time that caution would have happened. Here's some racing further deep in the field. We'll see if this was ultimately what brought up the yellow. There's Jake Grout. And the caution flew right there while he was sideways. Maybe he was sideways enough to trigger a caution by the iRacing automated cautions. I'm not sure. It doesn't seem like anybody else was around, so that is likely going to be what caused the Corey Bodie Wraps caution and gave us the 918 Custom Designs replay, is the moment there for Jake Grout. That is a bit of a light one. And that is going to give us that's going to be deemed a racing deal by race control, and so we will keep it green, we'll keep it clean, and we will re-rack them here for lap number 15 when we go back green. Race control is going to send no one to the back of the field, like I said, so everybody's still up here in position that they were in, unless they got majorly caught up in an accident and have so much damage that they have dropped back to the back of the field. The top 10 is going to be basically identical to what it was earlier. How about Colt Martin? He's gone from 23rd to 10th today, your biggest mover through the field. Second biggest mover is Brandon Atkinson, gone 28th to 16th. Braxton DeWeese 25th to 13th tonight, and Jacob Quill 16th to 3rd. So a lot of drivers have done a good job to drive their way up through the field, and we are going to get an EOL penalty for Trey Craig as a result of that. So ignore what I said about that potentially getting off clean. We are going to get an EOL penalty for Trey Craig. So he will go up to the very back of the field here. He is also having, Kyle Dumas is having some pretty big internet issues here in the middle of the field. This could spice up this restart as we enter the 17 media restart zone and we get ready to go back green once again from Nashville Fairgrounds.
Oh, we got a crash in the back.
Oh. Yep, didn't even make it to the line. Somebody is hard into the wall there. Looks like that is Tryson Pinion, the 24 car. He was driving up through the field after going to the back from a wreck, and that is not going to help because he is head on big time into that outside wall. Caution. There you go. There was Matt Urban getting into the back of him there, and that is what is going to bring out that caution. And yeah, Trice is going to have to bring that car down pit road, I think. I don't think that car is going to come back out of pit road because that thing is torn up.
Definitely some chaos in this one. I thought we started off a little bit cleaner at the start, but kind of turned into a little bit of chaos here later.
Yeah, we had about 5 or 6 green flag laps earlier on in this race, and we have not had about 5 or 6 green flag laps since. We are going to start encroaching on our time limit here. I don't have an exact count on when that time limiter started, but I know we were scheduled to begin this race 21 minutes ago with a 25-minute time limit, so once we get a bit of an update on that, I'll let you know. iRacing updated the UI recently, so we cannot see the timer up here in the booth anymore, which is a great update from them. As Alex McCollum and Steele Langford are going to get ready to go. Oh, I've just been informed where to find it by my producer. They changed where it is. I see now 6 minutes and 48 seconds left to go in the session, and I think we're going to likely hit that timer unless we get some green flag racing. Speaking of green flag racing, we're in the 17 media restart zone for Alex McCollum and Steele Langford. Jacob Quill, Larson Parker, Tyler Clare back here as well, trying to move their way up through the field. We're side by side for the lead of the race with McCollum and Langford. The 77 of Jacob Quill is pushing down there on the bottom, and he will get McCollum clear for the lead. McCollum takes the lead that lap. Quill is going to try to go for P2. Larson Parker trying to push his way through for P3. Everybody in a log jam up here. There's a lot of contact between those two cars. Langford will drop back to 4th, and now Larson Parker is going to get the 2-for-1 special. He'll go from 4th to 2nd as the caution flies. Oh my goodness, Matt Mingo has ended the pit wall. Oh. This is going to start further up the field. It's going to start with Aaron Harden, who is going to get turned by Michael Wiseman, although Michael Wiseman was also getting pushed by Kyle Terzak, so it's really just a chain reaction down there in turn 4. And it looks like everybody dominoed into each other. Matt Mingo got hooked sideways and clipped the inside tire wall there. You see it on the 918 Custom Designs replay. That is what brought out the Corey Bodie Wraps caution. I'll tell you what, our caution sponsor is having a good time tonight. Corey Bodie Wraps is getting his money's worth. Same with the 918 Custom Designs replay. .918 Custom Designs also the sponsor of our mini stock race tonight, so they've got double trouble, and they're the sponsor. Yeah, the sponsor of both of these tonight. JED Legends, James Elite the Detailing, also going to be the sponsor of our white flag in this race. So
They're getting
a
their money's worth tonight.
lot of partners here. Yeah, a lot of partners, a lot of guys making their money's worth over the course of this race. As we are under 5 minutes remaining in session, and we still have a lot of laps left to go for this race. Lights on the pace car will stay on, so we'll go one more under caution. And the admin's not shortening these caution laps. Is going to lead us to a pretty close cutting situation here when it comes down to our timer. Bryson Pinion has been DQ'd from this race, so the driver who started on pole is going to be DQ'd for intentional contact under yellow. He was 5th in the JED Legends race, so this is not going to be a help to his points day, as I will assume he will get no points for getting disqualified in this one. We are going single file on this restart here on lap 18, and we're going to do one more lap under caution, which I'm sure a lot of these drivers do not want to see, given that we are under 4 minutes left to go on the timer. Ryan, you think we're going to get this one in, or you think we're going to hit that?
It's going to be close. It's going to be borderline. Hopefully, single file restarts will clean it up a little bit, and we're just going to watch for the stack ups here with single file, but I'm hoping. I think we can do it.
I think we're all hoping that we can get some green flag racing in here before this is over. Lights on the pace car are now off for real. We'll enter the 17 media restart zone, and we're back green with Alex McCollum up in front of the field. Larson Parker will try to push Jacob Quill third. Here comes Steele Langford with a move to the inside to try to take that third spot away. He's got the inside lane on that 177 to Jacob Quill. They'll go side by side into 3 and 4. Langford's got the advantage, bodies that 77 out of the way. He takes third at the line, and Ty Leclerc follows him through. Stack up there for all of these cars, beating and banging. Now Jacob Quill gets to the inside as the 33 car clips the outside wall. Jacob Quill has the run, and he will get up to 4th, and now we'll try a crossover from Ty Leclerc. Great racing now that we are going green. Brian Gravel working his way up to the field after an EOL. Big loose out of the corner, but he gets clear of Cole Williams. Everybody pushing, everybody trying to make time. Colt Martin is on the bumper right now as we take 4 to go in the 918 Custom Designs mini stock race. Door to door for P7 as we are gonna, we're still on 4 to go. Colt Martin, and then you have Cole Williams right here battling going on at the rear of the field. There goes the 18 car. Caution flies. It's the 19, excuse me, that was Chris Shepard around. So we are going to get an overtime finish here unless we hit the timer, which we might. That might have ended up being the JED Designs white flag. We'll see. Chris Shepard into the back of Jake Grout and sent himself around. Grout was able to save it. And, well, Trey Craig just kind of turned the 19. You'll see it on the 918 Custom Designs replay there. Trey Craig pushed him into the corner, dumped him, and then, as that caution was already in the process of developing. See right there, 18 gets into the 49. 49 saves it, and Trey Clegg, maybe should have looked for another way around that one because he will get into the back of him. And we are now at 1:30 to go in the session, so I'm not sure if we will get back green. We will find out. We're not going to go to overtime here because caution laps are paused, so we will take the green flag with 2 to go naturally if we do end up taking that green flag. Who's your pick right now, Ryan? Who are you feeling?
I think Alex McCollum's pretty comfortable right now, but Larson Parker on these restarts has been getting pretty aggressive. So I think it's going to come down to these two, and Steele Langford could be in the catbird seat here if we do get going back racing.
EOL penalty given out to Jake Grout as a result of that incident, and he will go to the back of the field if we do get green here. If not, he'll still go to the back of the field. He just won't have a chance to make his way back up through the field, and he will likely finish in last place tonight. Alex McCollum continues to lead the field around, and the lights are not yet off on the pace car. I wonder if iRacing is going to give us a restart for a one-lap dash after the timer runs out, or if the service will just call it. We'll kind of have to see. iRacing can be a little bit tricky as we get ready to go back going. Yeah, you're right. Lights are now out on the pace car this time. Alex McCollum, Larson Parker, Steele Langford, Jacob Quill, Tyler Leclerc top 5. We'll get back green here. 10 seconds left on the clock. This might be the white flag as here comes Larson Parker. He knows it. He turns Alex McCollum around. Larson Parker's your new leader down the back straightaway. McCollum won't be happy about that one. He's going to take him out. Alex McCollum takes out Larson Parker at the line. It's Jacob Quill as we take the JED white flag. We are going to race this back out. Oh, we're going to finish the race right here. Jacob Quill is going to be your winner.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
iRacing was acting like it was going to give us another lap there, but it didn't. And we are going to see the replay. The one of Alex McCollum went, if I'm not winning, you're not winning either, and bulldozed him. And that's going to let Quill get P1 in this race. Tyler Leclerc P2, Steele Langford P3. We've talked a lot about track position. Jacob Quill started this race 16th, Tyler Leclerc 14th, Steele Langford 11th. Maybe it's less about track position right now and more about survival here for these cars that have snuck their way through the field.
Man, oh man. Chaos. You
Yeah,
knew,
we'll get
you knew
Jacob.
Larson Parker was going to be aggressive. You knew he was.
Yeah.
He was very aggressive.
You called it. You called that he was going to be aggressive. That was maybe a bit more aggressive than we were looking for. Certainly more aggressive than that car of Alex McCollum was looking for, and he was removed from the session immediately, so I'm not sure if he was going to be scored for some of the later races tonight. We'll get Jacob Quill up into the booth here in just a second, your race winner after leading only one lap tonight, and we will see what he has to say, what his thoughts on that incident are before too long here. 16th to 1st in a race where, I mean, we had that level of attrition is really, really impressive for the driver of that 177 car.
Yeah, I was way off. I thought you'd have to start up front to win, but honestly, it was who could use their front bumpers the best, it looked like. And man, but how about the top two? You got Jacob in with the win and Tyler Leclerc in second, 16th and 14th on the starting grid. I mean, man, what chaos.
And they've been on it because those two are going to jump up to first and second in your overall point standings. Jacob Quill was second last race. Tyler Leclerc was fourth last race. So those two are going to get big jumps up through the field. I don't think we have Jacob Quill. If we find him at some point later on tonight, we'll get him up into the booth for an interview about that. But for now, we don't have him, so we are not able to interview him. Note from race control here, the one of Alex McCollum is going to be done for the weekend. He is disqualified and he is out for your street stock race, your late model race, and eventually your super late model race tomorrow. We are going to send it to a quick commercial break as we get swapped over for the SIRA All-American Street Stocks, and we will be back in just a moment.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
We are back here for the All-American 400, and this time we are back for our third race of the night, the 50-lap street stock race sponsored by SARA. And we're going to pull our interview from the last race into the booth to start it up here. Jacob Quill, how you doing?
Terrible right now.
Winner of the last race, what were you thinking when that happened in front of you on the last lap?
I mean, I just wanted to get through and probably was going to take second again, but that, you know what happened. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, it kind of scared. My life flashed before my eyes. I thought I was going to get involved in all that and get wrecked, but no, I jerked the wheel right, and then just like they wrecked each other, and I was like, okay. So.
Man, that was some chaos of a that was about as chaotic as a race could be. Just tell me how you navigated through all the mess and through all the wrecks. I mean, you kept the nose clean all night, man. Just tell me about it.
Well, I don't know what I'm doing wrong on raw pace. I seriously don't, because this is uncharacteristic. Let's make it clear. I don't run short track. I don't do short tracks. I don't do that. I stick to NASCAR, and I do good. But this, I'm stinking on raw pace here. But in the race, you kind of start to rely more on senses instead of raw pace, unless you're like in the top 5 at that point. And so when you have those senses, you're kind of just able to navigate your way through, and I think that's just what I was able to do.
Yeah,
All right, anyone you have to thank tonight?
Oh yeah, I want to thank Precision Speed Solutions, obviously, Dalton Trump Photography. Them boys are good, and I'm glad to work with them on my car. Pay RVA, love that dude. He's a great guy on our team. So yeah, we're glad to bring them along on our team here.
All right, congrats on the win in the mini stock race, Jacob Quill. Go get him tonight in the
I'll try.
tree stock.
I'll try.
We're going to get into the race in just a second here as qualifying ends. 50 laps, 45 minutes on the timer for your SARA street stocks here tonight from Nashville Fairgrounds. Qualifying wrapping up. James Lehman is going to be your pole sitter, but we do have another invert. The invert will be 4 cars for this race. So James Lehman will go from 4th. Brian Gravel qualified in P2. He will go from 3rd. Steele Langford in the 133 rolled off 3rd in qualifying with the invert. That will put him up to P2. And Kyle Turzak in the 015 will be your pole sitter for this race. 5th place, Braxton Deweese. 6th place, Chris Shepard. Larson Parker goes from 7th in the 18 with Aaron Johnson 8th in the 78. He wants to recover after a disastrous first 2 races. Tyson Pinion goes 9th from the 5 car, and Michael Wiseman rounds out your top 10 in the 74.
Matt Urban starting 11th, Colt Martin in 12th, Kyle Adams starting 13th, Brandon Atkinson starting 14th, Ethan Guptill 15th, Tyler Clerk starting 16th, 17th will be Trey Craig, 18th will be Derek Fulton, 19th will be Thomas Dean, 20th, Jacob Quill.
And back from there in 21st, it'll be the 46 car of Cole Williams. Alex Hallinar goes from 22nd in the 57. Ed Papineau in the 01 is going to go from P23, and he will roll off next to Dylan Delaney in the 188. 25th will be Matt Knott. 26th, Matt Mingo in the 82 and the 12 respectively. And the last 2 cars on your field will be Kyle Dumas and Donald Castillo, 27th and 28th. Chris Reinhold, Aaron Harden, Travis Owens, Jake Grout will not make the start for tonight's race. And we will have 28 cars once again getting ready to go for Nashville Fairgrounds. What's your key to these street stocks here now that we are finally on the big track, Ryan?
Yeah, different little ball game here on the big track. The outside's going to be preferred on restarts unless you're the leader. Track position is the name of the game, obviously. But it's going to be very hard to pass. It's not going to be like Nashville Mini where you're fighting for the bottom. This place is really a second lane racetrack at 1 and 2, and it's about a 1.5 groove in 3 and 4. It's going to be hard to make passes on that bottom groove.
We'll see if any of these drivers can get it done here. Kyle Turzak did not have a good run through the 2 races on the mini track. He was in what felt like every accident. It was just not going well for him. For this race, he gets a chance to start up front, and he is looking to pull away with a good result, ideally a win for that 15 car to get him back up the point standings here on day 1. Starting on his outside will be Brian Gravel, James Lehman, Braxton Deweese, Chris Shepard, your top 5. I'm Sky Shrek. I'm joined by Ryan Kuhn and Bradley Cooper. Pace car pulls in. We're in the 17 media restart zone, and we are green from Nashville Fairgrounds. And immediately into turn 1, Terzak does not have it on the bottom. Steele Langford's got the advantage in that 33. Terzak fights back on the inside, though, and they're side by side as we head down the straightaway towards turn 3. Terzak's got the advantage. He's able to dive it all the way down to the bottom, run that yellow line. He's got a quick run off, and he will be the leader at the start-finish line. Terzak back down into turns 1 and 2. He'll get clear of the 33 of Langford. Now back behind him, Brian Gravel, James Lehman. Gravel tried to get clear, but he couldn't quite do it, and now we'll see a switchback for the lead. It's Steele Langford to the inside of Kyle Terzak. What can he do? Can he take the lead back? No, Terzak holds him off on the outside. He'll keep P1. Caution flies. Yeah, we got a couple cars heavy damage for Dylan Delaney. And it looks like, Thomas Dean, Matthew Knott, and Derek Fulton is going to be what started this. Well, as Corey Bodie wraps caution, we will get a 9-1-8 Designs replay here in just a second. Derek Fulton, the 7th car, he's already going around, he's sliding down the racetrack, and then it's just heavy impact with the cars behind him.
I believe it all started in turn 3.
It did.
It started. I think the 7 got turned around sideways. I believe it started it. And then a couple cars had nowhere to go.
That's exactly what happened there. The 7 just got tagged by that 77 car. That was Jacob Quill, who's going to get the EOL penalty for that. Points leader getting an EOL penalty, but he tagged him there. He went around, and then Dylan Delaney, major damage for Donald Castillo in that as well. Matthew Knott, Thomas Dean. Looks like Thomas Dean will be done for the night here already on lap 3. Caution laps once again not counting here in the SARA street stocks, so we will get back green on lap 4, and it'll still be Kyle Terzak up front. Who are you looking at as maybe drive their way up through the field here, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple guys. The 2 guys up front right now, Terzak, Steele, they've been fast. You know, Brian's been really good as well. Gravel, you know, like any other race, anybody's game. Aaron Johnson stuck back there, and I believe that's 8th. He's going to be digging through the field, and a couple quick guys at the back of the field right now that can't really give you any names right now, but a couple good cars out of the race. Dylan Delaney, unfortunate end to his night.
Yeah, he is still in the pits there, along with, it looks like, Matthew Knott, Thomas Dean, and Derek Fulton, who will be done for the remainder of this street stock race, but they will get one more chance to run later in our late model stocks in the final race of the night. Lights on the pace car are still on, so we're going to do one more lap here under caution. Once again, we are on a timer for this race. We hit it last race, but this one is a little longer. We're going from 25 minutes to 45 minutes with the increased lap count, up from 25 to 50 here tonight.
I'll tell you one person I'm keeping an eye on is Jacob Quill. He is starting. He's going to be restarting about last on the field. He was involved in that caution. Pitted, took some damage. He's going to be on the move.
We'll certainly be on the move here, and we will see where he is able to pull himself up to right now. See if he's able to get himself a good result on the night. Looking at the point standings at the moment, and I have to clarify that these point standings are not official because we are having some issues with them, but Jacob Quill, Brian Gravel, Steele Langford currently your top 3 as the pace car pulls in. Langford's up on the inside of Terzak, and that 15 car gets a great jump through the 17 media restart zone. We're back green. Terzak has the advantage down there in the turn 1, and he'll get clear of Steele Langford pretty easily. That 33 might want to do what he did last time, generate a run and try to cross it back over to the inside. Can't do it there, though, because Terzak slams the door. We're side by side for P3. James Lehman switched numbers. He went from the 5 to the 13 here in street stocks. He's on the inside of the 22 car of Brian Gravel. He's second in the points, trying to get himself up with another good day. See the in-car camera right there on James Lehman as he is dialed in, focused on this car, trying to keep himself in the top 5. back and forth at the moment on that 17 media in-car. Larson Parker and Braxton Deweese side by side for P5. Deweese trying to move his way back up through the field. Didn't have a good result on the mini track. The big track is a little kinder to Braxton as he sits 5th right now. And now you see on the in-car, Lehman is going to take a peek to the inside of Brian Gravel. This for P3. Finally getting some green flag racing tonight, Ryan.
Yeah, about time. The big track produces really great racing. You know, with the bottom group being so tough to pass, it just produces really a 3-lane racetrack at best.
We're all over each other. These cars are single file, tapping through the corner almost like they're bump drafting here. Steele Langford got a little loose off the corner after some contact from Brian Gravel, but they keep it straight, and now that's going to open up an opportunity for James Lehman to dive it back to the inside. He's been trying to get P3 on that bottom lane for a little bit now, but he hasn't been able to get it done. He'll continue to work on that 22 car. Will Gravel have the advantage out of the corner? It looks like he will. Brian Gravel back clear for P3 over James Lehman, but he can't get clear into the corner. Langford all the way up the road there because he had that 22 right on his bumper, and that will get him maybe a little bit of a run down the straightaway. Not quite. He is still looking on Terzak, still trying to generate the momentum he needs to set up a pass on that 15 car. Your field is so close together here. Very little separation. It's leading to some great racing as the 13 of James Lehman might finally have the jump on the 22 of Brian Gravel. No, not quite. Gravel fighting back on the outside. These two cars dead even right now between the inside and the outside.
Really great racing right now in the front of this field. I watched the back of the field just the last 2 laps. You know, Kyle Adams just got used up about 3 different times off of turn 4 and then off of turn 2. He's struggling right now.
That he is. He's struggling a little bit. He's back up front. Brian Gravel's getting enough of a run to the outside. He might be able to get to the outside of Langford down here and try to challenge for P2 while he's still got Lehman underneath him in the 13 car. Brian Gravel making a run on that top lane in his 22 as he tries to steal the points lead away from Jacob Will, who is not having a good race so far. This would be his chance, him and Steele Langford, to get themselves up solidly in the top 2 in points tonight as Gravel continues to work on that high side, gaining a little bit more time every single time around on that 133 car of Steele Langford, and this time he'll be side by side with him, nose to nose down the back straightaway. That's exactly what that 22 wants. Huge send in there for the 33 of Langford, and he makes it stick there, and that gets rid of all that the 22 had worked to gain. Langford is P2 at the line, and he's up the track, trying to move that 22 up so he can hold the spot.
Terzak's kind of backing the field up a little bit here. Makes you wonder, is he saving a little bit of tire here?
I wonder. We will see. He's up there in front of the field in that 015 car. He's done a great job to manage this race so far. Leader of all 15 laps as we're 3 wide behind him for a moment there. James Lehman in the 13 took a peek to the inside. Wasn't able to get anything from it though. Steele Langford still holds P2 over Brian Gravel, and Langford will finally get clear of that 22 car, but now Gravel has the run. Had a chance to jump to the inside. He won't take it. He'll shove that 33 car down the straightaway into the corner. And, oh, Brian Gravel loose out of the corner. Contact with the 13 of Lehman. He's up. He's out of the groove. He'll lose P3. He's not going to lose more, though. That could have been a lot worse for that 22 car. Great save to keep that thing straight. And now he's got Deweese and Larson Parker in the 8 and the 18 waiting to pounce. We know Larson Parker wants to be aggressive.
Yes, Larson Parker is very aggressive. He is not afraid to use that bumper. He's moving forward.
Got that 17 media in-car camera here on that driver of Trice Opinion. I was saying it a little earlier. It does not feel good to know that a child would out-qualify me here. Trice Opinion out-racing most of the field right there in 9th position, sitting 1 spot ahead of that 2-wide battle of Ty Leclerc and Michael Wiseman, trying to make a move on the battle in front of him of Aaron Johnson and Chris Shepard up there, who are currently going at it for 8th and 9th, or 7th, excuse me. Aaron Johnson just needs a good race. He has had a disaster, horror, terrible night. A top 7 to top 8 would serve very well just to get that 78 car's night back on track here before our final race. So side by side once again for P3. James Lehman has it to the inside of Brian Gravel, and these two are losing quite a bit of time on your leaders now as they go door to door.
Yeah, props to the admins, props to the drivers, props to everybody. This race is starting out very well. Very, very well. Much better than the last two. A lot of great side-by-side racing. Not a lot of contact. Clean racing. Gonna be a good one.
Battles all over the track here. A little bit of a slider, a little bit of contact further back in the field. That's Trey Craig, the 115, sitting on the outside of this battle of 46, and Cole Williams down on the inside trying to get that spot as the 155 runs a pretty low line for a driver on the inside or on the outside there, just trying to cut off that 46's momentum out of the corner. And it works pretty well. Craig had the advantage. He held 15th down the straightaway that time around. Braxton Deweese is going to take a jump up here for P5, trying to get around Larson Parker in the 18 car. We haven't seen many passes get made on the inside recently. Defending on the outside is kind of the faster line. Larson Parker will hold him off right there as some battles rage behind. Tryson Pinion is taking a peek down to the inside of Aaron Johnson, trying to get something going right there. Ty Leclerc in the 233 now up to the outside of that 5 car.
Making that outside line work. Got around to the outside of it. Whoa, got a little loose on the inside there. Slides up just a little bit on the inside groove. Still side by side here. Great race.
It's been close. It has been close. The P5 and Tryson Pinion trying to hold on there on the inside, but I don't think he's going to get it. Oh, contact with Pinion behind him. Well, tried to come up the track, but he wasn't clear and got into the nose of Michael Wiseman. Close moment there. Wiseman had to back out. He won't lose any positions. He'll stay in 11th, but it was a bit of a scary moment for that 74 car. He's got cars side by side behind him. Matt Urban, Colt Martin going at it. Brandon Atkinson was thinking about going 3 wide back there for a second. We will get a 918 Custom Designs replay here as you see what happened to that 5-car Opinion. He's just going to tag the 74 Wiseman in a second here, and it's going to cause a very near collision that could have sent both cars around. You'll see it right here. 5 thinks he's clear. He's not quite clear, and he gets himself loose, but great job by both cars to keep that thing straight. We are halfway through the SARA Street Stock Series right now, lap 27 out of 50, and we are holding steady up front in the field. Kyle Terzak in domination mode, but the 133 of Steele Langford has finally closed that gap back up. Hasn't been able to challenge him for the lead yet tonight, but I'm sure that 33 wants to get it done and wants to steal a win away for the first time in the All-American 400. As we're side by side behind, can Braxton Deweese finally get that run for 4th that he's been looking for on Larson Parker for so long? 17 media on board here for the 8-car Deweese as Larson Parker tries to jump to the outside. Ran him pretty close down on entry. Ends up not working there. Deweese is going to get an even run out of the corner. Larson Parker back up to the top. He's not holding the 8 down as much as some other cars who have been running the high line have, and that's letting Deweese get a pretty okay run out of the corner. Parker might need to just go down and chop him off if he wants to get that spot. Yep, caution flies here on lap 31. Corey Bodie Raff's caution is out for Ethan Guptill. Wrecked on the inside hard.
Yeah, that accident started with Colt Martin. Looks like Alex Hallinar just got together off turn 4.
Yep, that it is. Colt Martin is going to claim that yellow here. Came up the track, made contact with Alex Hallinar. You see it on the 918 Designs replay. That got everybody loose. And it spiraled until the 57 got turned into the wall with that 14 car. Heavy contact for both of those drivers, and that might put them out of the race. Colt Martin will take the EOL on that one.
A couple laps prior to that, Colt Martin was 3 wide on the outside, going backwards. So he was up to 10th and then fell back to, I believe it was 15th or 16th when that wreck happened. So unfortunate.
Great racing there in that pack. It's the first time we've had a real big green flag run all night. And it comes in the SARA Street Stocks. Great racing throughout the field. I think the move to the big track for this series has done wonders for how clean this race has been.
Yeah, it's been really clean. You know, like you said, there's been some contact, but everyone's been able to keep it straight and, you know, back out of the throttle if they do get into somebody. But, you know, there's a lot of comers and goers this race. You know, got Terzak there in the lead. He's been good, but Steele has been right there with him for most of this race, but these two kind of checked out from the rest of the field a little bit, and it's going to be I think we're in for a great finish.
And we said it a little earlier here, but Steele Langford coming into this race right here in the top 3 in points for tonight's All-American Esports 400. Jacob Quill is currently the leader. Brian Gravel sits second. Steele Langford sits in third, but he hasn't been able to grab a win yet. His highest finish so far tonight is only a P3. He's in P2, and Jacob Quill has not had a good race. He's been trapped back in 19th and doesn't have the pace he needs to get back up through the field. So this is going to be all on Langford and Gravel to try and take the lead of night 1 away. Who are you watching on this restart, Ryan, to maybe make some moves early?
I'm watching Steele Langford, outside front row. I think he's going to try to get aggressive and time this restart a little bit better, because I think if he can hang on the outside, he might be able to get Kyle here.
We'll see. That outside lane does seem to be pretty good, especially if you're trying to defend a car on the inside. If Steele Langford can get that jump and get even with Terzak across the line, as we've seen him do once already this race, he might be able to take that lead all the way down into turn 1 and maybe after a couple laps of battle emerge with the lead of the race. We'll see what happens as we get ready to go back green on lap 31. It's Terzak and Steele Langford up on the front row. You've got Gravel, Lehman, Deweese, and Parker in your first 3 rows. Pace car is in. We're in the 17 media restart zone, and we're green. Great jump for Kyle Terzak. Langford could not get anything there on that restart. In fact, he'll be challenged by Brian Gravel for P2. Gravel with a Go ahead.
Clear up front for Terzak. Steele fighting on that outside line, trying to clear third. Trying to clear Brian there, so it looks like he's going to be able to.
Well, not quite yet. Brian Gravel is still down there, but Steele Langford does have the advantage. Wouldn't be surprised if he's able to get clear out of the corner this time. Let's see. Looks like he will. Steele Langford clear up to P2, and now Brian Gravel is going to have to deal with the 13 of James Lehman back up to his outside. If Lehman can get a good run here off the corner, he might have something. There was some contact between those 2 cars, but everyone kept it straight as there is a log jam further back in the field. We're looking at Chris Shepard, Tyler Clare, up in front of him, Larson Parker, and Aaron Johnson in the battle for P6. Aaron Johnson, we've said it a couple times, desperate for a good finish tonight after a bad first 2 races. This is a great chance for him to get momentum back on his side and to get a little more comfortable here in the All-American 400 weekend. It's Chris Shepard, Michael Wiseman duking it out with Tyler Clare back here, side by side by side. It looks like we're at Talladega with how tightly these cars are packed in.
Everybody looks like they're sliding the rears right now. I see a lot of tail-happy race cars on corner entry. It makes it seem like everybody's freeing up here pretty good. Some contact right here in the middle of the pack.
Single file up in front of the field right now in your top 7 cars, but from 8th on back, it is a melee. Leclerc up front, Wiseman sits right back there. He's got that run up to 9th as we make our way into turn 1, and we're 3 wide with Pinion in the middle. We're all the way up the track. We're 4 wide here with the 150 car up top. Are we gonna keep it straight? Somehow, yes, we are. I don't know how there was not a wreck there. Oh my goodness, that was madness. Quill's in the middle. He's got contact with Trey Craig. Trey Craig is going to move through on the inside. Quill now back in position. Kyle Adams is going to try to pounce. Pinion and Quill went way back through the field there, but I think they won't be too upset because they kept it straight. They didn't wreck, and that is a minor miracle with how those guys were racing.
Tryson just got in the back of Quill. I don't think he's going to be too happy about that one.
I don't think anybody's going to be too happy with how that worked out, except for the cars who made it out up front. But, I mean, that could have been a whole lot worse as the 155 continued to run on the inside. Trey Craig is not afraid to use the side of that car to get some moves done, as we will see a little replay here.
He moved them. He just shipped them. They're side by side now, but man, oh man, that was crazy.
We got some racing going on back here a little further as we look at the 918 Custom Designs replay. Matt Urban dropped a couple spots after getting moved out of the way by the 46 car of Cole Williams, and he'll fall back towards the clutches of Trey Craig back there, currently running in P2. We're still single file up in front of the field. You're not missing much up there as drivers just try to set up moves. Back in the field, though. Oh, Pinion is going to get turned by Jacob Quill. These two are not very happy with each other. That is not the first time we've seen these two get into each other here tonight.
Yeah, lap before that, Quill moved him into another car and turned can't remember who it was sideways, but he turned someone else sideways there, and that was the second bit of contact they had.
Still luckily for him, it's going to get a little bit of ways now, but he's got Chris Shepard up in front of him. He'll need to set up that move. Here we go, a little further up the field. You've got the 233 of Ty LeClaire down to the inside of Larson Parker in the 18 car. Michael Wiseman back behind this group. He's sitting in P9. What can LeClaire do as he's down on the inside? Really wrapping that yellow line, trying to get some speed off the corner, but it's not happening. And Larson Parker holds P7 pretty easily right now. Battle really starting to form up in the top 3 as we take 8 to go here in the SARA Street Stock Series from Nashville Fairgrounds. Steele Langford is basically pushing that 15 of Turzak through the corner, and Brian Grapple's there as well. They're coming up on a lap car here of Matthew Knott that could play a factor in things as Langford is taking a peek to the bottom. Oh, he's going to get loose off the corner. Contact with the 22 of Brian Grapple. That'll open up a little bit of space here between Langford and Turzak. As these 3 cars are all going for it here. It'll be 6 to go at the line this time. Who's going to get it done?
It's gonna be a dogfight to the end, man. It's gonna be a great finish. These guys are just nose to nose. I mean, what a great race we've had so far, and we're not done yet.
Yeah, we are far from done here. Still 5 laps to go, and the top 3 positions are all up for grabs as it's Turzak, Langford, and Brian Gravel back here in the 22. Langford and Gravel have been contenders all night. They're 1 and 2 in the points right now for day 1 of the All-American Esports 400. But Turzak in the 15 is trying to defend. He's trying to grab a win. Brian Gravel trying to grab his 2nd win of the night after winning the JED Legends race earlier. What can these cars do? 4 to go right now from Nashville Fairgrounds.
3 wide for 7th, I believe, right now. This is a tense battle. Hopefully, these guys keep it clean.
Whoa, we'll see. We got Larson Parker up there on the outside, Tyler Clare. And how about Cole Williams sneaking his way through on the bottom? That Cole Williams car from 21st up to what would be 7th tonight if he's able to make the pass. He has been aggressive all night long. It has worked out for him as Larson Parker gets tagged by Matt Urban, gets up into the wall, and that will put that car outside of the top 10. Cole Williams continues to fight with LeClaire for P7 here in this race. Back up front, though, we are coming down to the end of this thing. It is 2 to go from Nashville Fairgrounds in the SARA Street Stock Series. And we have Kyle Turzak up front. We have Steele Langford P2. We've got Brian Gravel P3, and Gravel is now going to take a peek to the inside of Langford. If he dives it up to the inside, this would be huge for Kyle Turzak because it's going to hurt Langford's ability to get a run. We're going to take the SARA white flag here from Nashville Fairgrounds. Who's going to get it done? Right now, it looks like Turzak as Gravel sends it in deep, gets way loose. He keeps it straight, but that is going to end his chances of getting P2. So it'll be Gravel P3, it'll be Langford P2, but up front, as we take the checkered flag, Kyle Turzak wins the SARA Street Stock race.
What a great race.
That was awesome. I got no further comment. That was awesome. That is exactly the type of racing we have been looking for all night, and we get it there, courtesy of the 015 of Kyle Turzak. What a great job he did to defend that win. And we will take you to Grout Motorsports victory lane here as he parks it on the start-finish line and maybe does some burnouts here. Oh, he won't do any burnouts. We do have him for an interview, though, so we'll pull Kyle Turzak up into the booth as we get switched over between sessions here in just a second. Kyle Turzak, winner of the SARA Street Stock race. How you doing?
Good. Now.
Yeah, I was going to say, you were in a pretty tight battle there. You had Langford beating down the door pretty much all race long, but you brought it home for the win. How's it feel?
We had those first 2 races there and getting destroyed by McCullum, and, he's getting involved in that first wreck there. I had nowhere to go, and I just knew that now I'm trophy hunting in these last 2 because I was in the points. So that's what I came here to do in the street stock race and got that done for sure, and going to late model stock race and do the same.
Ryan, you got anything for him? There you go.
Yeah, like you said, the first 2 races were rough, and all eyes on the checkered flag now. But we saw you early in that race. You backed up a little bit. We were wondering if you saved a little bit of tire or if you used it up a little bit, but you looked really smooth behind the wheels. So, gotta ask, were you saving a little bit of tire there halfway through?
Yeah, the right front was kind of getting a little high after a little bit, so I decided to back it down. And also, draft was a big key factor tonight. I didn't really expect that. Well, I kind of actually did in the street stock, but I think when we go to like my stock car, it won't be as bad. And I just had to protect the runs the best I could, and I saw Steele got to the inside of me a couple times because of the draft, and he had such a big run down straightaway, and thought I was down on horsepower, but no, not really. But yeah, we just had a pretty good 15 right there in the street stock division. Can't thank you guys for the broadcast, Adams and Hale for putting this on, and Arkansas Shop for all the open setup stuff. Hot shot photography, all the best photos on Ironson.
All right. Anyone else you have to thank tonight, Kyle?
Let's see if I'm talking about. Oh yeah, everybody watching back at home, and like I said, everybody's putting this on, and also Turzak Racing on Facebook.
All right. Congrats on the win in the SARA Street Stock race, Kyle Turzak.
Thank you.
And we are going to take a quick break as we get switched over sessions-wise here for our final race of the night, the late model stock 100-lap feature. Stay tuned on V-Speed.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
We are back here for the All-American Esports 400, and we are getting ready to go for our final race of night one. 100 laps of the late model stocks from the big track around Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. I'm Scott Schreck. I'm once again joined up in the booth by Ryan Kuhn, and our producer is once again Bradley Cooper here tonight. As we get ready to go, we're halfway through qualifying right now. Ryan, what are you going to look for in these late model stocks on the big track?
Yeah, number one key is tire management, I think. You know, you want to stay up front, save your tires a little bit, kind of back the field up. It's a big, fast racetrack. Tire wear is quite a bit of tire wear at a big track like this, especially in this car. It's really going to come down to who saves the best and who keeps their track position the best at the end of the race.
We get another quick look at our track info here on Nashville Fairgrounds. We ran the mini for the first two races. We will be running the big track for our final one here tonight in the RKM setup shop late models. Hey, I have RKM up here in the booth with me. 18 degrees of banking in the turns, 0.6 miles in length. First paved on July 19th, 1958. As we are going to take, I believe it's once again 28 cars into the feature for your, 30 cars into the feature for your late model stock feature tonight. We have 33 trying to make the field for tonight. Track used to have 33 degrees of banking back in the day, from what I am being told, which is crazy. I'm being reminded of the old Oakland Stadium track that had about 60 degrees of banking. Bristol's probably more accurate, but it's more fun to remember that one. We have 1 minute left in qualifying here right now, and Kyle Turzak, your winner of the last race in the SARA Street Stocks, is currently on provisional pole. We'll see if he's able to match that effort in the RKM setup shop late model stocks, or if somebody will be able to challenge his dominance so far in tonight's affairs. So we're looking at the points for night one right now. Brian Gravel is the current points leader, sitting on 285 after getting one win and two finishes right up there. He is top of the board with Steele Langford sitting in second, Ty LeClaire third, Jacob Quill fourth, Braxton Deweese fifth, Cole Williams sixth, James Lehman seventh, Kyle Turzak eighth, Colt Martin ninth, and Trey Craig currently in 10th at the moment. As we are being told by admins, all 32 cars are going to make the race. There you see your full point standings as we head into our final one here tonight in the RKM setup shop late model stocks, and that'll be your full order. It's sorted by average points because we were having some issues with the sheet, but total points is going to be what actually counts when we are all done with it. Invert tonight going to be an 8. So as we take a look at the starting grid here in just a second, know that your top 8 cars will be flipped around for our 100 lap or 1 hour, whichever comes first, feature in the late model stocks. Kyle Turzak starts on pole in the 015 with Cole Williams in second in the 46. Third tonight is going to be the 133 of Steele Langford with Aaron Johnson in the 78 in fourth. And then this is where the invert comes in. Ty LeClaire is going to, in the 233, qualified fifth, will start fourth. Same with Jacob Quill, who will start on his inside there in the 177. Finally, a good qualifying result for the driver who sits in the top 5 in points. And on pole is going to be the 15 of Kyle Dumas. Qualified 8th will be inverted up to first. Michael Wiseman in the 74. Qualified 7th will start in second tonight. Brian Gravel in the 22 goes from P9. Larson Parker in the 18 goes from P10.
James Lehman starting 11th. Jake Grout starts 12th. Tryson Pinion starts 13th. Trey Craig starts 14th. Brandon Atkinson starts 15th. Braxton Deweese starts 16th. Kyle Adams 17th. 18th is Ethan Guptill. That stumps me all night. 19th Derek Fulton and 20th Aaron Harden.
And then rounding out your field from there, it's going to be Chris Shepard in the 19, Ed Papineau in the 01, Matt Urban in the 48, Donald Castillo in the 37, Thomas Dean, Matthew Knott, Colt Martin, Dylan Delaney, Jesse James, Joe Canellis, Matt Mingo, and Chris Reinold, rounding out your 32-car field for tonight's race as we get ready to go here in just a second in the RKM setup shot late model stocks. Cars are on pit road as they get ready to roll here in just a second for your 100 lap, the feature event of day one. And Kyle Turzak is going to look to win his second as he qualified first. He'll have to go back to 8th with the invert, but if there's anyone who can fight his way through the field, it's Kyle Turzak. Any other drivers you looking at, Ryan?
Yeah, obviously another car has been strong every race. Steele Langford, he's been really, really good. You know, Jacob Quill, he's been saying all night he hasn't had that fire off speed, that short run speed, but he put down a pretty dang good time in qualifying. Qualified 6th. I wonder if he can, you know, keep it up front all night, save his tires. He's a NASCAR guy. They're really good at saving their tires, so I'm looking at him tonight.
These cars make their final pace lap before they get ready to go for the final race of the night. 100 laps here today. And it is going to be a good one, that's for sure. What's the key to the race, Ryan?
Yeah, key is to save your tires, keep the nose clean all night, and you know, keep it out of trouble. You've seen these late model stock races. These guys runs very, very close, very, very tight with each other, but these guys are going to continue to push each other and push them to burn up their tires. Here we go.
We get ready to go. The pace car will pull in. It's Turzak. It's Cole Williams up on the front row. As we take the green flag, we're green here at Nashville Fairgrounds. And it's immediately a good jump for both of the cars on your front row. Larson Parker and Michael Wiseman. I forgot we had the invert there, so it was a little bit off on the front row. It was Brian Gravel, Michael Wiseman, but all things considered, we're getting off to a pretty clean start here with Parker on the inside, Wiseman up on the outside there in that 74 car. Really trying to give him all he's got, and now the 77 to Jacob Quill is going to get aggressive. He's going to send it 3 wide down here into the corner. Can he get him? They're dooring each other on the outside, and Jacob Quill gets 2 for 1 at Nashville Fairgrounds. He's your new leader, and Larson Parker will jump to the inside, but we have a car around. Steele Langford, big wreck. And that is going to bring out our first Corey Bodie Wraps caution of the night. Steele Langford took a huge hit there in that 133. One of your drivers who has been so good so far in tonight's festivities, but he just got turned around by Cole Williams in the 46 going off into turn 1. Made some pretty heavy contact with James Lehman, Tryson Pinion, and the 33 car of Steele Langford is going to have a hard time getting that damage fixed.
Yeah, just tight race in there. He's just trying to get clear in front of the 46. And just quite wasn't clear. It's kind of a racing deal, type accident, you know. Stuff like that happens, but a tough break so early on in the race.
Yeah, the good news is that this is our longest race of the night, so they are going to have about 100 laps to re-rack it and try to get their way back up through the field, but they're going to have to really work for it. As you see that 33 go around once again, he's not going to have the track position that he had after setting one of the fastest times in qualifying, the 3rd fastest time in qualifying. He's going to have to go all the way from the rear of the field. He was given the EOL there, so he might have just claimed that caution, and he will go to the rear.
Yeah, definitely a tough way to start this one, but hopefully we get the hopefully get some green flag racing here.
We will look to have some green flag racing here, that is for sure. We had a great one in the SARA Street Stocks, and we will look to have something similar here in the late model stocks, ideally, so we can get some green flag laps rolling in this race as we are under caution on lap 6 out of 100. Lead up front, Jacob Quill in the 177, who was your points leader after the first 2 races, but got trapped back in the field, couldn't manage the street stocks, and just got stuck. He didn't get stuck right there, made a 3 wide move up the inside, got the lead away as he looks to take the points lead back here late on in the night for day 1. Larson Parker starts in 2nd on this restart. Michael Wiseman, Aaron Johnson, Ty Leclerc, the rest of your top 5. Lights are still on the pace car, so the drivers will get one more lap to group it up here. What are you going to be watching for on this next run, Ryan?
I wonder if these guys are going to try to get single filed out and save their stuff, if they're going to play patient, or these guys are going to try to go early and get that clean air and save their tires. We're going to have to find out here.
We're going to have to see as we are on lap 8 of 100 as we get ready to go back green. The pace car will pull in this time, and it'll be Jacob Quill and Larson Parker 1 and 2. Michael Wiseman, Aaron Johnson 3 and 4. And we're back green here in the All-American 400 at Nashville Fairgrounds. It's a great jump for the 177 to Jacob Quill. He's gone up into first. Larson Parker is in hot pursuit in second, and we're side by side for third through sixth. Behind him, way out of the groove goes Aaron Johnson. He's loose all the way up into the marbles, and he will drop outside the top 10. We're 3 wide now with him on the outside. Braxton Deweese, Jake Grout on the bottom, and both of those cars get around him. Aaron Johnson falls back to 12th.
There was some vent code there or what? But he just shot up the track.
I think he might have just got loose there. Lost the handling and went way up the road on some cold tires, and that is not going to be the race he wanted. He's going to have to fight his way all the way back through the field. Kyle Terzak sits third, Michael Wiseman fourth. We got a car around in front of your leaders. It's Jesse James. He's got it back going, but they are going to lap him here very quickly. He is right in front of these cars of Quill and Parker, who are doing battle 1 and 2. What a gap that they've opened up between themselves and Kyle Terzak back there in third. It's really the class of the field early on in this race. Maybe using up those tires to get an advantage, as now Larson Parker is going to make a send to the inside. He wants the advantage in position, going for the race lead on Jacob Quill, and Larson Parker is going to get it. He takes P1, and he is checked out. We'll see if he can get away.
Much tire management, and these guys saving, and these guys going now. I see Larson's trying to make a gap. You know, I don't know if he needs that right now, but Jacob Quill doing a great job here in second. But for a guy who's never really run short tracks before, he's doing a damn good job.
Yeah, he's certainly doing a great job here today. Even P2 is really impressive because we interviewed him, and like he said, not really a short track guy, but he is maybe should become a short track guy because he has had a great run tonight. Cole Williams gets tagged by Brian Gravel back there. Gets way loose, way out of line. He's going to lose a lot of positions. That 46 car has been aggressive all night long. That one wasn't really on him, but he is going to maybe get back to the bumper of that 22, and if so, we'll see what happens there. As though he's going to get slid up the track by Jake Grout now in the 49 car. Cole Williams getting used up right now, and I don't think he's appreciating it. Brandon Atkinson lurks in wait behind this battle, sitting in P11. Grout gets clear, and now Williams takes a peek to the inside, but he's got nothing, and he's not going to get a great run through the corner here. Oh, well, maybe a lot better run than I was anticipating, considering the low line of entry there for Cole Williams. And he's going to try to sneak a move to the inside of Jake Grout as they make their way over the bumps.
And definitely some aggressive racing early in this one.
Yeah, we've seen some aggression be shown by basically everybody. Jake Grout is up into the fence there. Cole Williams, maybe that'll be the run he needs to get around him. He'll pull down to the inside here, and he'll go door to door. But they'll stay side by side as we get the 17 media in-car here for Castillo in the 37. He sits back in P16. He's got a whole gaggle of cars up in front of him right now. Aaron Harden, Derek Fulton, Kyle Adams are about single file right now, but this is some tight racing in the mid-pack and up in the front of the pack as well. Battle is going on for P5 at the moment. It's Brian Gravel side by side with Ty Leclerc in the 233 car. And Gravel is going to get that spot. He'll move up to P5. Ethan Guptill side by side with Braxton Deweese right behind that fight. That one's for P7. And if Guptill can pounce, he will want to get up to Ty Leclerc and maybe challenge that car as well.
Yeah, these guys seem to get single file here pretty good. There's only one side by side battle right now on the racetrack. It's between the 14 and I believe that's Braxton Deweese. But it seems like they're going to get back in line. A lot of single file racing, guys just trying to bide their time, save some tires, make it to the end. As I say that.
The side by side, yep. Caution's going to fly. That is for, well, we'll see who that is for. Matt Urban is going to go around there. And he went around, it looks like, off the nose of Steele Langford. Oh, that's a big hit for Matt Urban there. We'll go a little further back on the 918 Custom Designs replay, and we'll see what brought out the Corey Bodie Wraps caution for Steele Langford and Matt Urban. This is going to go on into the entrance of turn 1, and they just kind of come together down here on entry. And Urban gets loose, overcorrects, and goes head on into that outside wall. Big hit for the 48. Not going to end his night. He's still pacing out there, but he's going to have a lot of damage.
It's just Nashville. Guys just trying to fight for the middle. There's a huge bump on the entry 1 right on the bottom. If you hit it, it'll send you up into the car on the outside, but it just looks like Steele was just trying to miss it and ultimately got into Matt.
And on lap 22, we are going to be right back under caution. And we will see how this shakes out once we get rolling back green here in just a second. Up front, it'll be Larson Parker, who took the lead there away from Jacob Quill on that last run. He is your pole position car. Jacob Quill, P2, Kyle Terzak, third, Wiseman, Gravel, Leclerc, DeWeese, Guptill, Williams, and Jake Grout, the rest of your top 10 at the moment. Is there anyone maybe a little further back towards the back half of that top 10 or even outside of it that you are looking at to jump up through the field here, Ryan?
You know, Aaron had a tough start of the race, but he's sitting here in 11th. You know, he's going to be trying to charge forward. A couple guys at the back, Aaron Harden, he's usually really good at these late model stock cars. I could see him charging forward here in a hurry. He's currently running 15th. But those two guys are the main guys I'm looking at. And another guy, Steele Langford, he got that damage on that the first caution there. And does he have too much damage to make his way through the field, or does he still have the car to make it there?
We'll find out. That last incident has been ruled a racing incident, so no driver will receive a penalty and no driver will take an EOL for their role in that one. Although Matt Urban is certainly going to have a lot of damage from it, and he will have to go from the back either way with how broken that 48 car is. It's good news for Langford, though, because he will hold position and he will have a better opportunity to roll it up through the field, even with that bit of damage that he has. The pace car will pull in at a 4, and as we take lap 25, we'll enter the 17 media restart zone. It's Larson Parker, it's Jacob Quill, we're green. Good jump for Parker. Kyle Terzak is immediately trying to challenge. He gets all the way down to the bottom line, trying to find his way around Jacob Quill in the 177 car. Terzak, the winner of your SARA street stock race, and he wants to win this one in the late model stocks as well. Trying to find his way up to P2 as the 77 clips the wall again, using every inch and then some out of that corner. Kyle Terzak grinding it out on the bottom, and they're door-to-door. They make contact out of 2. Still beating and banging down into 3. Terzak has the advantage now. Is he clear? Yes, he is. He's clear at Quill, but I don't think he really considers himself clear, because he's going to go right back down to the inside on the 18 of Larson Parker and try to get 2 cars in as many laps. The caution will fly before he's able to do so. Is Derek Fulton. So we will get a replay of what happened to the 75 car. Came out of the corner, tagged the 24 of Kyle Adams, who either just came up a little bit too high behind the wheel of that 24 machine. And the 75 got slowed down and got absolutely ran over by Donald Castillo.
Yeah, tough deal there, you know. Derek was just a half a lane off the wall, and they just got hooked. You know, it's on iRacing with these cars. As soon as you make contact, if you're not really ahead of that right side door, if you just catch them right in the quarter panel, it's just going to hook that inside car. And, you know, honestly, just kind of a racing deal there. And it's just, man, chaos early to this one, but still a lot of racing left. I think it's going to end pretty well.
You saw that there on the 918 Custom Designs replay as we are making pretty good progress through this race. We are 47 minutes left on the timer, but we are on lap 29, so we are currently ahead of it, and ideally with some green flag racing here pretty soon, we will be well ahead of it, and we will not have to worry. We've had some attrition here in the early stages of this race. Travis Owens, Chris Reinold, Kyle Dumas, who is scheduled to start on the pole of this race, did not actually end up starting this race behind the wheel of that 15 car, which is what led to some of the confusion on the start. James Lehman ended up out of the race early alongside Tryson Pinion with early damage. Matt Urban also in the pit 7 laps down. He's still trying to get it fixed, but it'll be a while on that 48 car. And then Donald Castillo 2 down, Derek Fulton 1 down. Those 2 cars in the pits after our most recent accident tonight. Kyle Adams is going to be the last car in the lead lap as he currently sits in P25 out of our 32 scheduled starters here tonight. And race control will rule that accident between Kyle Adams and Derek Fulton as a racing deal. So no one will take any EOLs, and we will keep it straight here. No one will have to go to the back of the field. Couple cars making their way out of the pits there with damage fixed. That's Steele Langford, and then that's Matt Urban 8 laps down trying to get his way at least back into some points here if he can behind the wheel of that 48 car. Up on the front row, it's Larson Parker in the 18. He's going to hold the lead here. Kyle Turzak was side by side with him when the caution came out. He had that inside lane. It looked like he was going to get him, but he'll be pushed up to that top, and we'll see if he's able to stay even with the 18 on the restart. Back in row 3, it's Brian Gravel and it's Jacob Quill. Pace cars off. We're back green in the 17 media restart zone. The 18 of Larson Parker has the advantage on the bottom, but Turzak is running him right along the top side. They're door banging a little bit down the back straightaway. Parker's got the advantage with the big send, but Turzak is holding him down, doing all he can to cut off the run of that 18 car. And at the line that time, Kyle Turzak led by a nose. He's got the run on that outside, dooring each other once again off the corner. A lot of contact between these 2 cars, Turzak and Larson Parker. Who is going to get the spot? Who is going to hold on? We're still side by side. Oh, big moment back there. That's Braxton DeWeese getting way loose after contact with Jacob Quill. This battle will not die between any of these cars up here in the top 4.
A little bit of contact for the lead.
Yep, that's going to run Turzak up the road. Larson Parker still in it in that 18 car, and he will get clear for the lead of the race. But Turzak will try to cross over. He'll now have the inside as we head down the back straightaway on lap 35, and it's Kyle Turzak to the point. He's got that yellow line all to himself as he runs clear around the bottom. Larson Parker has the lead across the start-finish line, and he leads lap 35. But Kyle Turzak is not going to give him an inch. Can he get clear? Not quite yet. Advantage Turzak down the back straightaway. As we head back down into 3, they've been door to door for about 5 laps now. These cars do not want to separate at all. As Parker hits the wall, that'll give Turzak even more of an advantage behind the wheel of that 15 car, and he's going to run him a little bit up the track on entry and try and get the run on exit. He will be clear. Kyle Turzak is up to the lead, and now Braxton DeWeese says third. He's going to challenge Larson Parker for P2 in just a moment.
I think Larson Parker's used up his tires just a little bit more than he wanted to. He's wagging the tail off the corner. Oh, Turzak got a little wiggle there too, but you know, like I said earlier in the race, tire management's key, and hopefully these guys can make it to the end.
Having some connection issues with his onboard there for that 8 of Braxton DeWeese. I hope that doesn't translate across his internet connection into any issues with his race car. That could be a problem with him running up in P3 at the moment. The highest he's ran all night. He really struggled on that mini oval, but since we've come to the big track, both he and Kyle Turzak have been thriving up here. 1 and 3 for those 2 cars. You got Larson Parker between him and the 18, and then back through your top 10 while we're all single file. It's Quill, Gravel, Williams, Michael Wiseman, Guptill, Aaron Johnson, and Brandon Atkinson. Side by side for 11th back here with Jake Grout and the 33 of Ty Leclerc up there on the top. Leclerc, one of your highest drivers in the points, and he will look to have another good result here to get himself further up as we end day 1. Jake Grout to the inside. Can he get clear? Looks like he might, not quite there as he continues to work in that 49 car.
Larson Parker's back to him. He's all over him. He's taking a peek to the inside. He's not giving up. Not giving up. He's all over him.
No, he isn't. Larson Parker does not want to let Kyle Turzak win 2 in a row. And he is there. He is going to challenge for this lead with everything he's got. You mentioned tire saving might be a little bit of a factor in this one earlier. We'll see if that ultimately ends up coming to fruition here for some of these drivers who have really burned up their stuff early. 43 laps into this race as Larson Parker continues to chase down the 0-1-5 of Kyle Turzak to try to get this position away. What can he do? He's a little bit lower there in the corner, but for now, I think Turzak is defending well, using dirty air and taking away any lines Larson Parker could try to run as he continues to hold this lead. We're going to check the lap times this time around between those two cars. And Kyle Turzak is going to be about half a tenth quicker up on Larson Parker. We've got two more DNFs here tonight. Well, actually, one of them was a spotter who dropped out of the session with an internet connection issue. Matt Mingo has just quit out of the session. He got in an accident, and that 12 car will be done for night one. And he will be done for the RKM late model race here. Here's some drivers trying to drive their way back up through the field. Ty Leclerc has the advantage right now on Aaron Harden in the 77. We got a car in the pit road there. We're not put on pit road, but very slow. That is the lap car of Donald Castillo getting out of the way. I don't think he wants to interfere in anyone's race, so he is one lap down, and he is going to get lapped as Ty Leclerc gets clear of Aaron Harden, and now Matthew Knott in the 82 will try to drive his way up into that battle for 14th. Single file all through the field.
Kyle's trying to save a little bit of tire, but Larson Parker is not letting him save at all. He is pushing him to the limit right now in front of this field. Top three guys really under a blanket right now, fighting for this win.
Yeah, look at that 17 media in car. Look at how much Larson Parker is wheeling it through these corners. He is all up on that wheel. He's getting a little loose at times, but he is just doing everything he can to keep that car in a position where he can get it maybe up to the lead here soon. As we take lap 50, we're halfway through this race. You can see when we go on board with a car like that just how bumpy this track is. It's really difficult to hold it down here. You can see this car bouncing over the bumps, really affecting the way he steers, and he has to do a little bit of counter steer there as he gets loose out of 4. That's not the first time he's been loose out of the corner and had to counter steer here. That is going to really hurt his tire temps, really going to hurt his tire wear here. Needs to be aware of that as we head down to the end of this race.
Yeah, Kyle Turzak is wrapping that bottom in 3 and 4. It's giving him a very good straight exit off the corner and is able to keep the wheel as straight as possible. Center up off. Larson Parker trying to pinch the car down, getting a little bit wiggly off the corner. I think he gets a little bit tight in the middle, and it's just snapping the car sideways, trying to force the car down. But Kyle, again, a straighter exit. Larson Parker a little bit free up off the corner. Man, you never know what's going to happen.
That was a 918 replay there from Ethan Guptill, who was trying to battle for 6th. Just got a little loose out of the corner, slid back 3 spots. He's currently running 9th after getting passed by Atkinson, Wiseman, and Williams. And now Wiseman's way loose out of the corner, too. Some of those drivers a little further back in the field really starting to have issues with grip. And Brandon Atkinson, the 150, I don't think we've seen him up in the top couple spots all race, but he is trying to pounce on Michael Wiseman to the inside here. This would be for P7, and he's got Ethan Guptill right up behind him trying to recover from his moment. Cars coming together up here for P7. It's getting tight. See if either of these cars have saved tires better than the others, and if that's going to allow some of these drivers like Aaron Johnson, who have been biding their time back around 10th, to move their way back up through the field. Jake Grout had the bottom there, but he got loose, had to concede to Aaron Johnson, who is continuing to work a little bit higher on the racetrack, trying to find some sort of hole he can move through. Well, he's in the outside wall there. That is not going to help him. So is the 74 of Wiseman. We're 3 wide in turn 3, but Wiseman is just going to lose a lot of spots. He is ice skating in that 74 car. I think he's used his tires up, and he is paying the price right now.
Backing apart. I watched him lose a couple spots. Another wiggle there. I believe that was the 14. Man. Oh, wow. A lot of contact there. 3 wide off 4. 14 car backing up hard right now.
Ethan Guptill and Michael Wiseman, we've seen both of those cars get really loose and lose a lot of spots here over the course of the last few laps. As Jake Grout and Ty Leclerc stay door to door for P9 right now on this race. Jake Rout, last car in the top 10, and he's going to switch it back to the inside behind the wheel of that 49 car and see if he can get a run going up to the inside right there. Well, let's see. Leclerc has the advantage. He'll hold that spot pretty well on the outside, and he will make that defense a little further back in the field. This is the 14 of Ethan Guptill you're watching right now as he sits on the outside of the 155, and Terry Craig, and oh my goodness, we have so many cars loose. Tire wear with 40 laps to go is really starting to play a factor. And speaking of cars loose, we got a car around. It's the 01 of Ed Papineau totaled. That'll be a caution. It'll be a Corey Bodie Raps caution as Ed Papineau. This is just a single car spin, got loose out of turn 4, looped it around, and made a huge, huge impact with that inside wall, and that will take him out of tonight's race. You can see it right there. There he goes.
We're just coming into play, you know, guys. It's so hard for guys that don't run these cars that often to know the limit, and the tires just gave up.
Yep, tires just loose for so many cars in the field. I mean, like you said, tire order is going to play a major role in tonight's race with no extra tire sets available, and it's really come into play. As we are under caution, we're going to take a very quick side-by-side break, and we'll have you back for the green flag.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible.
We're back for the final 36 laps of night 1 in the RKM Setup Shop late models here in the All-American 400 as we head through the 17 media restart zone. We're back green for Kyle Turzak out in front of the field. Lawson Parker, P2. Braxton Deweese and Jacob Quill is the battle for 3rd and 4th at the moment, with Brian Gravel rounding out your top 5. And caution flies. Chris Shepard and Donald Castillo are having some problems. Maybe not Castillo. Castillo is just far back. It's Chris Shepard mostly having the problems. This is going to come from a stack up down into turn 1. Matthew Knott moved down. It checked up Delaney. It checked up Jesse James. James made contact with Chris Shepard. And that sent a couple cars around here. You're going to see Chris Shepard loop it there. And then James comes up the racetrack, and that piles in about 3 or 4 more cars, including Dean Canellis, Jesse James, and yes, Donald Castillo was caught up in that one up top. Get that one more time on the 918 Designs replay. Just a couple different stack ups there. Matt Urban in the 48, as if this race could not get any worse for him, is also involved.
Steele got a piece of that one again. Steele's had a rough race. He's been involved in 3 or 4 incidents. Just a couple spots, just nowhere to go.
We're going to have a black flag for the 155 of Trey Craig for a restart violation. I'll see if I can get a exact... Oh, he was in the wrong lane on the restart. That will be what caused it there for the 155 of Trey Craig. Moving lanes before the start will get him a black flag, and he will go to the back of the line for this next restart. So he will not be a factor. Trey Craig had some good results earlier on, but it has not been the couple races here since he moved to the big track that he would have won. Sits 10th in points and might drop out of it here after this one for his restart violation. As Kyle Turzak is still up front, really didn't get any movement there at the front of the field because the caution came out basically immediately before we could really get anything going. And it is still going to be Turzak, Parker up at the front of the field, followed by Deweese, Quill, Gravel, Williams, Atkinson, Johnson, Leclerc, and Michael Wiseman in 10th. As the lights on the pace car are out, and we will get the 1 to go signal here. We will go back green on lap 70 out of 100, and I think from here to the end, Ryan, it's really just going to be about saving your tires.
Yeah, keeping that right rear on it, or right front, whichever one comes first. You know, if you get a little tight, burn the right front off a little bit, but yeah, we'll see who's got the most tire life left.
Well, we're all set to find out here. It's Kyle Turzak on the bottom, Larson Parker on the top. The pace car is in out of 4. We're green once again at Nashville Fairgrounds, not North Wilkesboro. Kyle Turzak up in the lead, Larson Parker in second. It's Jacob Quill, it's Braxton Deweese third and fourth. Braxton Deweese has the run down on the inside here. Let's see what he can do for P3. It's Cole Williams up to 6th with Brian Gravel still rounding out that top 5. Braxton Deweese running very well right now in that 3rd position, and he has the advantage down on that inside lane with Jacob Quill in 4th, and Quill will try the crossover here to get P3 back. We'll see if he can make something happen on that outside or on the inside, or if Deweese has the advantage on the top. Deweese will have the advantage on the top. He is back clear for P3.
Aaron Johnson way up the racetrack there.
I was going to say battles brewing further back there with Aaron Johnson in the 78 car, Ty Leclerc in the 233, Jake Grout in the 49 as well here on lap 73 out of 100. Not a lot of time left for these drivers to make their way up through the field. If you've got tire left, I think now is going to start to be the time to use it. As Jake Grout continues to sit side by side with the 78 car of Aaron Johnson. What can they do out of the corner? Still door to door. Still a little bit of door banging down the front straightaway. Johnson is really not holding that car down at all. And that's going to let Jake Grout get the run out of the corner to secure P9. Ethan Guptill now in the 14 car was having some issues on tires earlier. We'll see if he's got a little more grip on that car as he makes his way around. He's going to make contact with Johnson there, who hit the wall and kind of came back out and doored Guptill. Both cars keep it straight. And the battle's on for 10th as Guptill was loose once again. He is still having problems with those tires.
Parker's still all over Turzak for the lead. I thought his tires would give up by now, but he's still got some life left in them tires.
He does have a little bit of life left in him. Larson Parker in pursuit of Turzak. They're going to come up on a lap car here of Matt Urban, and I think that 48 might just get out of the way when they come up to him to let these cars through. We're getting a little bit of a smoke show there. If you see that smoke over the track, that is not an accident. That is the blown engine on Ed Papineau sitting in his pit box. So that is why it's a little smoky out there in turn 1.
Oh, we get a wreck. Aaron Johnson in the inside wall. Huge crash on the back straightaway. Big
oh my
wreck.
goodness. Oh, we got cars in the air. Yeah, that is a huge one. Cars airborne. The 82 of Matthew Knott caught some air. Aaron Johnson, I think he went outside the track. He went over the outside wall and got reset back to the pits, flipping violently through the air there to bring out the Corey Bodie Wraps caution. We will need a 918 Designs replay on his contact out of the corner with Ethan Guptill that sent him into orbit and also into a Hunt Brothers pizza billboard. You can see the tag right here. The 78 gets turned up and over multiple cars and out of the rink.
Out of the ballpark. Home run.
You're going to see a couple more cars caught up in there on the bottom as well as the big one strikes once again at Nashville Fairgrounds. Kyle Adams torn up, Colt Martin torn up. The 82 of Matthew Knott took a pretty big hit. And looks like a couple cars had to tow. Aaron Harden, most notable among them, Dylan Delaney, also in a huge accident. That was a shot for Aaron Johnson.
Wow, that was Aaron Johnson's bad night continues.
Hey, it's great marketing for Hunt Brothers Pizza down there.
Oh my goodness, yes.
14 car is going to get an EOL. That's Ethan Guptill. That car right there you see on your screen, he was about to get T-boned by the car we're on board with. And it is so ridiculous seeing the late model stock fly like that.
You don't see that often. Not
No,
often
you
at
don't.
all.
That is far from something we see every day. We got multiple cars in the air at the same time. Kyle Adams got lifted. Matthew Knott got lifted. What a wreck that was.
Langford.
And Michael Wiseman's internet is just cut out.
Oh,
He's out of the race.
He's out of here. My goodness. Langford got more damage out of that. Second place in the points coming into this race. And I think that might be the end. Oh, he's still on the racetrack. We'll see. But he's going to need a miracle to come back.
Yeah. Aaron Harden, like I said, also out of the race. So we will go back green with less than 20 to go. It'll be a similar look up here in the top 5, but a new look towards the back half of the top 10 with those wrecks. Turzak up front, Larson Parker second. Luis third, Quill fourth, Gravel fifth, Cole Williams in P6. Next from there is Brandon Atkinson, Tyler Clare, Jake Grout, and Steele Langford. Your top 10 cars as we get ready to get back going from Nashville Fairgrounds. We're going to hit the 17 media restart zone with just 19 to go. Can Kyle Turzak hold him off? He gets the jump, and we're back green in the RKM late model. Turzak with the advantage down there on the bottom. Deweese is going to try to take a peek on Larson Parker. Doesn't have what he needs. Deweese will drop back to third and maybe back to fourth because Jacob Quill has the run on the high side in that 177, and he'll look to the high side on the 8 of Deweese. We stay side by side up here for third. We stay side by side for fifth there with Gravel, Cole Williams, and now Tyler Clare trying to join that battle as well. Tight racing right here as we come down to the end of this race. It's still all up for grabs at the front end of the field. Can anyone stop Kyle Turzak?
A lot of slipping and sliding all the way through the field right now. Tires. Oh, wreck turn 1. Head on and into the opening into turn 1.
That is Joe Canellis. Destroyed down there in that 11 car after, like you said, a huge shot into the wall opening. His night will be over from that. That is a blown engine for sure on that 11 car. Donald Castillo and Colt Martin very heavily involved, and Colt Martin is probably going to have some terminal damage considering his right front tire is facing the wrong direction. We'll get a 918 Custom Designs replay here. Just a rear ending from Matt Urban that starts that accident. Urban made it out scot-free. It was everyone in front of and behind him who ended up paying the price for that one. The 74 was in the wall. I think the 11 just checked up to dodge it, and Matt Urban wasn't aware. And that led to the contact.
I think Colt Martin hit the wall. I think when he hit the wall, it broke the right front, and he just could not get away from the wall, and it just sucked him right in. Yeah, it broke the right front is exactly what happened. As soon as he hit the wall.
His right front tire is facing the complete wrong direction, so that is likely the end of Colt Martin's night as well. What has been a little bit of a race of attrition here. The higher speeds in these cars has led to bigger hits and more cars out. Let's do another little recap of who we have lost tonight. James Lehman, Tryson Pinion, Matt Mingo, Ed Papineau. Donald Castillo is, I think, still on the track, 17 laps down. Matt Urban is still out there, 18 laps down. Wiseman, Harden, Johnson, and Joe Canellis are going to be done for the night. Johnson might be done for the night. He's 7 laps down, and he's still in the pits, so I will assume he is done for the night. We run out of laps. It'll be 13 to go when we get back racing. Racing deal deemed by the stewards for that accident.
Steele Langford, with all that damage, still running 10th. That's impressive.
Yeah, he's done a great job to just be patient, not get involved in accidents, and slowly work his way back up through the field to where he is right now. And it's gone pretty well for him.
He's doing a great job missing the wrecks. Other than the one where Aaron Johnson went out of the park, he got caught up in that one, but he decided to stay out and not to fix that damage, and it might pay off.
Yeah, we'll see how it shakes out here with 12 laps to go. 12 laps for anybody to catch Kyle Terzak, and there are some contenders. Larson Parker has been behind him for a while. We know he's aggressive. We know he is absolutely willing to move someone for the win of the race. We saw it in the first race of the night, or in the second race of the night there in the mini stocks, and he might look to do it again in that 18 car. Braxton Deweese and Jacob Quill are third and fourth. Pace cars off. In the 17 media restart zone, we're green once again. Good jump for Terzak here as Parker sits in second. Jacob Quill has the advantage, and he'll get the spot over the 8 car of Braxton Deweese right now. Deweese is going to try to fight back on the bottom, but Quill has that better one on the top, and I think that'll help him to maybe get clear here in just a second. Let's see what's going on down into turn 3. Is it going to be Quill? Is it going to be Braxton Deweese? Quill still has the advantage, but he has not been able to get clear at all. As we're side by side for third, we're side by side for sixth with Cole Williams and Ty Leclerc. Brian Gravel, the meat and the sandwich of these two packs, too wide. Under 10 to go now. Larson Parker is there. Staying side by side for P3. Braxton Deweese just continuing to run that yellow line, and it's actually working a little bit for him. Quill has struggled to get that car down. Oh, we're wrecking. We had a blown engine at the back of the field. That is... Oh, it wasn't blown engine. I think he got it sorted back out, but that was Kyle Adams with a ton of smoke coming out of that car. Now the caution comes out. We got another big one.
Huge wreck on the back.
Ty Leclerc, Cole Williams were racing for P6 when this happened. And it'll bring out another Corey Bodie Raps caution. Huge damage for them. Huge damage from Jesse James, Trey Craig. All caught up in this one brutally.
Safe to say, I think Tyler Clare's night's done. Rear end's bent on it. Car's crab walking. Third in the points too, and that's gonna take him right out of it.
That will certainly take Ty Leclerc out of contention after what seemed like a very promising night is going to come to a very brutal end. Steele Langford also took a very hard hit in that one, so his run back up through the field is going to be ruined as you see him getting some airtime there on the top of the racetrack. That was a big one, and that took out a lot of good cars. Ty Leclerc has claimed the caution, but like you said, I'm not sure if he's going to even be able to get that car back out.
I don't know how Steele Langford's car is still running. I mean,
I don't either.
He's been airborne on his side, head on into another car. I mean, and he's still in the top 10.
He's still rolling it. I mean, we said it's been a race of attrition. There are certainly some cars out in the field right now with quite a lot of damage. He's one of them. He's just ahead of the other cars who have quite a lot of damage. I see Jesse James. He's running 9th. Started this race in 29th. Currently running 9th, and he is really making the best of it in that 60 car. Even with the damage he's got, even with being involved in multiple accidents tonight, he's just vibing.
Absolutely. Crazy race. Crazy way to end this one. Just a lot of chaos right at the end of the race. A lot of big accidents. And, man, just getting down to it. Guys are getting impatient. It's time to go.
You think we've seen a lot of chaos so far tonight? We've got 4 laps to go to decide the whole thing once we get back going green. Terzak, Parker, Quill, Deweese, Ryan Gravel up here in your top 5. Ryan, what's going to be your key to surviving these final 4 laps if you are anyone other than Kyle Terzak?
Well, if I was Kyle Terzak, I'd run away and hide. But these guys out the back, these guys got to get a good restart, time it just right. If Larson Parker can stay on his outside, if he can just get to the right rear quarter panel entry to turn 1, he might have a shot. But if Terzak gets clear, it's going to be very, very hard to pass him. He's a very hard driver to pass. I know from experience. Same with Larson Parker, though. He's very aggressive. He is not afraid to use that bumper.
No, he's not. We're getting ready to go here with 4 to go in the RKM late model stocks. Kyle Terzak on the inside. Parker on the outside, and Turzak is going to be the one who gets the better jump. We're back green with 4 to go here in the All-American 400 in the RKM late model stocks. Kyle Turzak has the lead, Parker in second, but we're doing it over for P3 like we've been for much of the last 10 laps under green. Jacob Quill is the one on the inside. Braxton Deweese, the one on the high side. Role reversal from what we've seen. But Deweese gets clear on the top, and he has third as we head back into turn 1. As now Jake Grout is up into the top 5 for the first time in this race. Really trying to push Quill down to get P4. It's going to be 2 to go at the line this time, and this race is all but decided. We're racing hard for 4th. We're racing hard for 7th, and we're racing hard for the lead of the race. Larson Parker hasn't made the move yet, but as he sits 1 spot behind Kyle Turzak, he is lurking. Turzak is loose. That's going to hurt his ability to close in. Caution flies. And we're going to have to do it again because Kyle Adams is wrecked on the back straightaway. Yeah, Kyle Adams, yeah. I missed him there the first time. This car is white. It blends in with the wall. I think a lot of guys miss that all-white car right up there on the high side because he wrecks and then he sits there.
But now a car that's gotten a lot of damage now that got caught up in that is Brian Brown. The point leader.
That is just a fascinating decision by Kyle Adams. He must have had some sort of issue. Race control didn't throw the caution there until Kyle Adams is already launched it. That is going to be not ideal. As there were definitely some cars caught up in that. You said it, Gravel took a hit there. I don't think Gravel saw him. Derek Fulton very clearly didn't see him. I think he's straight up just kind of... There's a white car up against a white wall. It's a little bit of camouflage when you're going at that speed, and that is going to bring out the green-white checkered here.
Yeah, it must have been a connection issue. Had to have been a connection issue. Just he went up into the wall and kind of just looked like either his wheel disconnected or his monitor shut off or something happened.
That is a big flip for the 24. His night will definitely be done. I don't think there's any question about that. Maybe a couple other cars who got involved there with him are going to have problems. Ty Leclerc is out of the race. Cole Williams are both out of the race as well. So that's 2 more cars victims of Nashville Fairgrounds tonight in what has very much been a race of survival and a race of attrition here tonight.
Yeah, Brian Gravel got caught up in that, like I said before. And how much damage does he have? Steele Langford's second in the points right now. He's right on his rear bumper on this restart, so we're going to see what happens here.
It's going to all come down to this. Kyle Turzak, still your race leader. He's been the race leader for most of the Ryan Kuhn setup shop late model race. Larson Parker on his outside in second, and we will see if he is willing to make the same aggressive move that he was in the mini stocks race to maybe get the lead in this one, although hopefully for Larson Parker, he's hoping he'll get some better results if he does try it again. Pace car in, out of turn 4, and in the 17 media restart zone, we are back green from Nashville Fairgrounds. It's a great jump from Kyle Turzak. Parker gets down into P2. What can he do? It's all on this next lap and a half for the 18 car of Larson Parker as he is in hot pursuit of Kyle Turzak. We're going to come through 3 and 4. Parker's a little bit up the racetrack. He's trying to set up a run. We're going to take the SARA white flag, and Kyle Turzak holds the lead. Parker is still back there in second. Will he make the send to try and claim victory in the RKM late models? Let's see what happens. He's not going to go for it. And coming out of turn 4, Kyle Turzak goes back-to-back. He wins the late model stocks. 2 in a row here on day 1 for Kyle Turzak in the All-American 400. He's not going to get the points lead, but he will get 2 in a row between...
Yeah, a lot of drama right at the end of that race, too. Brian Gravel backed up. Steele Langford actually got by him. We're going to see what the end result is, but who won the championship?
We are going to see. I think provisionally, just off looking at the positions, it might be Brian Gravel, but it is going to be very, very tight between him and Steele Langford, and we are going to need to wait on an official word on that. Post-race show now sponsored by Grout Motorsports. As you see your top 3 cars line up there for a photo op. Kyle Terzak, Larson Parker, and Braxton Deweese brought it home third tonight. We'll get to talk to them in just a second. We are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get results and interviews with your top 3. Stay tuned.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
We are back here after the RKM Setup Shop late model stock race, and we'll get a quick look at your finishing results here. Your race winner tonight, the 015 of Kyle Terzak with Larson Parker, P2, Braxton Deweese, P3, Jake Rod 4th, and Jacob Quill rounds out your top 5 in P5. Steele Langford 6th, Brandon Atkinson 7th, Brian Gravel 8th, Jesse James 9th, and Matthew Knott 10th. And back. Oh,
Tom Dean, 11th. Dylan Delaney, 12th. Chris Shepard, 13th. Trey Craig, 14th. Colt Martin finished 15th. Derek Fulton finished 16th. Kyle Adams, unfortunate end to him, 17th. Tyler Clare, 18th. Cole Williams, 19th. Ethan Guptill, 20th.
And finishing back from there in 21st, it's Donald Castillo, Matt Urban, Joe Canellis, Aaron Johnson, Aaron Harden, Michael Wiseman, Ed Papino, Matt Mingo, Tryson Pinion, James Lehman, and that will be your field for tonight's race. And we have some news here on the point standings. We can tell you your night one winner is Steele Langford. He got it right at the end with that 6th place finish over Brian Gravel, and he will be your winner tonight of night one. We're going to get some interviews going right now. We do not have Langford up for the booth, but we do have our race winner, Kyle Turzak. Kyle, long time no see. How's it going?
Pretty good.
Second win of the evening here. You grabbed the one in the last race in the street stocks, and now you've got the late model stocks as well. How'd you get it done?
Honestly, it was just about tire management. Coming into this race, I noticed the setup was a little bit loose, and I realized I had to get out front and get the clean air as soon as possible, and that worked. You know, we got the lead there pretty early right there from Larson, and kind of had to use a little bit of my stuff on the outside, and I crossed him over, and then I got clear right there, and I knew that as soon as I got in clean air, it was just about how I can save tire the best without him getting a run, and I found that way, and he was always about a car length or two back, and I just maintained that as soon as possible, and then about 40 to go, I started putting the beans on it and starting to pull away a little bit, and then we had those cautions right there, and I just set up for a pretty much checkered, and I got a beautiful start and got the win.
Yeah, was it kind of scary holding off Parker and DeWeese back there because they were beating down your back door for quite a while?
Yeah, I knew that they couldn't really gain a run, really, because with the fix up here, you're running out of gear at the start finish line. So I just had to get good exits and not spin tires or get loose exit. And after I got in my groove, like I said, and could be able to get those good exits, I could hold them off.
All right, I think we've asked you this once already, but who do you have to thank tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank Adams and Hale for putting this on. I want to thank you guys for the broadcast. Good job tonight. Even though we had so many cautions, it's just how it is. It's night one of a big event. Night two is going to be really exciting, and 300 laps in the Super Late Model should be really fun. I want to thank Arcade Setup Shop on the open setup side. Hot Shot Photography, other thing to do. Corey Bodie Motorsports, Corey Bodie Raps, Turzak Racing on Facebook, and everybody who's watching back at home.
All right, congrats on the win of the late models, Kyle Turzak.
Thank you.
And we are now going to send it over to Ryan, who's going to be standing by with our second place finisher tonight, Larson Parker.
Yeah, Larson, second place tonight. Not bad. What did you need to get Kyle there at the end?
Honestly, just more tire. I'm not the best at saving tires in these cars just due to the lack of seat time, and I feel like I kind of burnt them up a little bit on the first 40 lap run we had, and try not to fall back too far, but the cautions really saved me. I think it's just that first long run kind of hurt me a little bit for the end.
Yeah, I was going to say, you did a great job on those restarts, keeping with Kyle. Almost had him there right at the end, though. You might need a couple more restarts, but who do you got to thank tonight?
I'd like to thank Adams and Hale for putting on the show. Looking forward to tomorrow, and then you guys for putting on the broadcast, and then just everybody else for keeping the racing clean for the most part.
Congrats on second place.
Thank you.
All right, and we're going to move to our third place finisher on tonight, and we will call the 8 car of Braxton DeWeese up into the booth. Braxton, how you doing?
Doing pretty good.
P3 there, you really turned it on once we moved on to the big track. What made it click for you?
I have a lot more track time with the street stock and late model stock compared to the Legend and the mini stock. I don't have a feel for the mini stock, to be honest with you. I got to figure out how to hustle them suckers around with with how little power they have. But and I just bought the Legends about maybe 2 months ago, so I got a which is kind of crazy. That's an opening car, and I've been on iRacing for 7 years, and I never raced it until about a couple of months ago. But just got to qualify better with the smaller tracks there. Definitely would have gave me a better shot at having a shot at the top three with points. I'm assuming, but the street stock to be able to get, I believe it was fifth and third is a pretty good ending to the night. I just kept progressing as the races went on with qualifying and with the finishing. So we'll take it.
I was gonna say you went from 16th tonight up to P3. How hard is it to fight through the field at a track like this?
You really got to take advantage of any opportunity that's brought upon you. If you're able to get to the outside, you need to do it. I felt like I was able to clear from the bottom, and I was also able to clear from the top, which was pretty good. I was going a little bit quicker there at the beginning, and I say that because I thought I was burning the stuff off a little bit, just getting around some of them fellers. It was honestly kind of surprising me that we were able to make them moves. That wreck happened. We were from 16th to 12th, and then the green flag run right after that. I believe we went from like 12th to 8th, and then to 7th, and then to 5th to 3rd. So, just being able to get up there and keep that track position was definitely an important factor. But just being able to make passes and being able to keep your momentum up is, it's always a factor. So I'm glad I was able to be able to do that. And although it wasn't as much of there wasn't as much green flag racing at the end, I was just glad I was able to make them restarts work, whether it was on the bottom or on the top there.
All right, who do you have to thank tonight?
Definitely a big shout out to Interstate Ford. We had them on the car for the street stock and the late model stock, and then we had Happy Karaoke. They were on the Legend and the mini stock, so big shout to them. They're definitely some big supporters, as well as Three Dips Ice Cream Shop. We actually are going to be partnering with them in my local downtown like parade for the winter when they light the tree for the holidays and stuff. We're gonna try to make a float and put my real race car on the trailer and try to do some lights and stuff and see if we can win some awards to try to just catch some eyes to the YouTube page where I have some videos of my onboards from racing at Winchester. But big shout out to Stake Time, Mountains Arts Images, Dewey Servations, Elevated TV, Paid Leave, Wood Nickel Band, Short Track Report, Scrum and Tires Media, Evan Pineda Designs, and Our Pizza over there in Winchester, Indiana. They help sponsor the Roadster Series when we race at Winchester. So looking forward to next year with the Roadsters. And I won't be racing tomorrow for the super late models. I am a noob with the open setups, but I was glad I was be able to talk to you guys nonetheless tonight.
All right, congrats on P3, Braxton Deweese.
I appreciate it.
And we're now going to bring up into the booth our overall points winner tonight, Steele Langford. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Went through some challenges there, especially in this last race where you were all up and down the field. How did you get it done?
I turned myself going into one on like, I don't know, lap 2 or 3 because I was trying to get in. I wanted to save my tires and then wrecked. And then I kept just wanting cautions and I got a few. And then we had that long green flag run until like lap 60. And it was like, man, I'm not going to be able to get up there. And I was pitting every time, just riding in the back, trying to save my tires at that point. And then from 60 to the end of that race, it was like everybody started wrecking and the seas just parted for me. And I got back up front and just had a good night overall.
I mean, realistically, that was about as most chaotic of a night as I've seen. It went from one extreme to another with who was the point leader at what point, and it looked like McCullum was going to be strong, and he got kicked out. It looked like Terzak was going to be strong, and then you kind of came out of nowhere and just stole the show. Just tell me about your whole night in general. You're just consistent, stayed out of most of the carnage until that last race.
Well, yeah, Ryan, that was my whole goal for tonight. Just sort of nickel and dime 'em. I'm not the fastest one in here, I'd say, but I feel like I'm one of the faster ones, and just try to use a cool, calm head and stay relaxed and just sort of get good runs. And if you top 3 them and top 5 them to death, then you'll end up pretty good. Because I know the legend race, it started off rough, and I ended up finishing 7th in it, but I got spun out. I think I was in the first wreck in it, and it was like, oh, whatever. And then The mini stock race went good. I was 7th in the legend, and then the mini stock race went good. And then the street stock race went good, and it was just like, all right, I just need to be smart here, and I can have a good running. But it was definitely a fun night of racing. I enjoyed it, especially the street stock race and the late model stock race where we didn't have near as many cautions, which I think that was just a part of the recipe for running the quarter mile versus the big track, and everybody was able to get a little more spread out and all. But I enjoy running the quarter mile. It's fun, but it's typically chaotic. But I mean, it was overall it was a fun night of racing.
All right, who do you have to thank tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my sponsors, Fred's Race Engine Design in High Point, North Carolina. I also like to thank the posse. I'd like to thank Sarah, just everybody there I was trying to represent. There was a group of us tonight. I'd like to thank y'all for broadcasting. Would like to thank Kyle and everything at Misfit Racing Leagues that they're doing, and Hell for Race Control. Just thank you to them for allowing us to run this event and putting on such a big event. And I'm just happy to be here, man. Like that's about all I can say. Um, I think we're gonna have a good piece for tomorrow. I qualified before this started tonight. I was in 4th when I left the session, so not sure how I am, but I'm glad I made the race. That was my whole goal, to make the race, and then just sort of we'll ride around a little bit and put on tires and see how we end up at the end of it. But I think we've got a good car. We ran good in the Sarah All-American 400 race last week. We finished 4th in it, so looking to have some fun again tomorrow. So thank y'all for broadcasting this and everything that y'all are doing with this league. This is really turning into something special.
All right, congrats on the win, Steele Langford.
Thank you.
And that'll do it for our coverage here of night 1. You see Steele Langford got the overall points win over Brian Gravel by just 6. Ty Leclerc 3rd, Jacob Quill 4th, Cole Williams your top 5. And there's your look at the full point standings here for tonight. We had a fun night here of 4 races in the All-American 400, but we've got a lot more coming up tomorrow night. Ryan, you're going to be racing in the super late models for 300 laps tomorrow. How you feeling about that?
Feeling pretty good. You know, we tested a little bit earlier today, and I think hopefully all my guys are ready. Hopefully they all lock themselves in the race. Might be a couple going to the LCQ, but that's all right. We'll get them in. I'm looking forward to it, as long as we just keep the nose clean, stay out of trouble, be patient. The key word's patient, you know, and there wasn't a whole lot of that tonight. I'm hoping they're a little more patient tomorrow with 300 laps on the line and for some big money. So number 1, keep the nose clean, don't get any damage, don't get into wrecks, and stay up front.
All right, well, that'll do it for our coverage of night 1 of the All-American 400 for everybody at Misfit Racing Leagues and V-Speed. For Ryan and Bradley up here with me in the booth, make sure you tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern as we get ready to go 300 laps around Nashville Fairgrounds. Until tomorrow, have a great night.